This episode of Kind of Funny Gamescast is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. By now, everyone knows the Dollar Shave Club ships amazing razors for just a few bucks. What you might not know, I didn't, is the Dollar Shave Club also has products for pretty much everything else I need in the bathroom. Body wash, shampoo, hair gel, lip balm, everything. They make it easy and convenient for you to upgrade your shave and your bathroom. If you're like me, and sick of the nonsense at the store, now's the time to try out Dollar Shave Club. For a limited time, DSC is basically giving away the starter set to new members for only $5. The starter set includes their executive razor and 3 trial-sized versions of their most popular products that help you stay fresh and clean. So fresh, so clean. In your first box, you'll receive their shave butter, which I'm a big fan of, body wash, and one wipe, Charles butt wipes. That's right. You'll also receive their executive razor, which includes their premium weighty handle and full cassette of cartridges. After the first box, replacement cartridges, they're sent to you for just a few bucks a month. The offer is exclusively available at dollarshaveclub.com/gamescast. That's dollarshaveclub.com/gamescast. Dollar Shave Club's high quality products will have you covered from face cheeks to butt cheeks. There's no better time to try out the club. What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 134 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by one of the coolest dudes in video games, Greg Miller.
134, all it's missing is 2.
Damn.
Because it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
But it kind of sounds like it's all it's missing is you 2. Like, it's a nice thing. It sounds like one of those nice adages somebody would have.
Oh, I thought you were going up that 134, like the love and pager code, but that was 143.
No. I was thinking more in the vein of 7, 8.
Steve Gaynor, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Steve Gaynor.
Right.
I'm very excited. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
Thank you guys for having me out.
Yeah, you just launched a game. No
did.
big deal.
You got to talk into that. Kevin's going to yell at you. You got to rotate with it or Kevin will yell at you.
Kevin's just like, I won't. I don't care how it sounds.
You don't know
This
how
isn't
he treats
interesting
us.
to me. Tacoma just came out just a little less than a month ago, and I actually finally have time to like come down and visit you guys. I'm like, thank you. Thank you.
Doing them big things.
Yeah. So yeah, it's out now. People have been playing it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
People have been liking it.
Yeah.
It's good.
I think so.
Good reception
I
overall.
think so, yeah. Yeah. Greg liked it.
I did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you not watched my review? Do you not know my feelings on Tacoma?
Of course I
You
know.
better.
Yeah.
You better have, yeah.
Well,
No.
you were like texting me about playing it.
Well, sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I know this boy likes it.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, like
Because the bad part would have been if you were like, "Hey, started playing Tacoma," and I just never got another text from you.
just a heads up, I've been playing it. I'll talk to you
Let me
later.
know I'm
Talk to you
playing
later.
it.
Just wanted you
It
to
is
know.
a game.
Take
It exists.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
No, I got busy. Yeah. No, yeah.
No.
Anyway, what have you been up to?
Nothing. Playing other games, doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah, hanging out. Yeah, but we want to talk about your stuff.
Cool.
We're talking about that. What is that topic of the show? You're
That will
saving
be
all
the
that
top
stuff?
of the show. Absolutely.
Okay.
This is the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Each and every week we get together, talk about video games and all things that we love about them. You can watch it early by going to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, where you can watch it live, or you can just get it early on YouTube, and that's a fun thing to do. Or you can just wait till Monday and watch it for free on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Or you can do a whole bunch of other things on Patreon. It's a great place. Like Tom Bach, Patreon producer, the man, the myth, the legend. Good dude, that guy.
Great guy.
Great guy.
Thanks,
Tom
Andy.
Bach. Yeah.
Andy likes Tom Bach, everybody.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a good
true.
one. Yeah.
What were you about to say, Greg?
About what?
I don't know. You were about to say something. I cut you off.
Oh, I was talking to Steve. I have a lot to say about Tacoma. I have a lot of questions
we're
about
gonna
Tacoma.
cast some games.
I like
Yeah,
that.
but we're just here to
Gamescast.
Gamescast. Yeah, you're because everybody loves you, Steve Gaynor. All the Kind of Funny best friends love you. You're a requested guest.
Oh,
they
thank you so
enjoy
much.
you.
Well, I mean, it's the love is mutual. I'm very happy.
Good. Yeah.
What you been playing, Greg?
What haven't I been playing, Tim?
That's
Where
a
do you want to
good
start?
question.
You know as well as I that there's a fourth mic here. Now I can go. I'm at a fork in the road. I can choose one path and get one guest. I can choose another path and get another guest. Where do you want me to start?
I want to derail you entirely. I'm going to talk about what I played because you've also been playing it.
And
but
roasted.
Fuck!
Mario
How
plus
about no fork,
Rabbids.
buddy?
Mario plus Rabbids.
Yeah.
Kingdom Battle.
Oh, you think that would throw me for a loop? Nice try. Kevin!
God damn it.
Get your ass in this seat. No one's been playing more Mario than Rabbids than this guy right here. He's been playing so much Mario plus Rabbid, he looks like a rabbit.
What?
I mean,
The offense.
it is. What,
Cool, Greg, is this mic up? Bring this mic up. Talk. No, talk.
All right, yeah, now I'm talking and using
Okay.
words.
See,
I'm
he
actually
sounds
was
exactly
about
like
to
a
pay it
Rabbid.
right now.
Pick it up. How far are you right now, Mario plus Rabbids?
Not super far, but I've been playing a lot of it. I'm at World 2-7, I think.
Okay. Where are you?
I don't remember what world it is, but I'm towards the end of the game.
Oh,
at this
okay.
point.
Well,
Yeah,
I lied.
played a
I thought
lot.
you'd played more than that.
I mean, I'm playing
I
a
see
lot
you
of
play
it.
it all
Yeah,
the time.
a lot of it.
Are you
Well, that's
name-
the only
you get
time
name
I
bars
play.
wrong when
Only-
you're playing
So
all the time.
I'm doing a little
Thought
bit
you'd be
of
really
No,
fun.
no,
I'm doing
the
a little
name
bit of
bar
math
thing.
here.
Come on.
I'm adding this up.
Yeah.
You've been playing it a lot. You're not very far. You're terrible at the game.
No, he's pretty far. He is pretty far.
Oh, I guess I'm pretty far. I don't know.
okay.
I mean, who can gauge how many worlds there are? There's no,
There's no
You know what I'm saying.
Where I come from, there's one world.
Do you have any interest in playing it?
I do have interest in it.
If you have interest playing it, I highly recommend you play it.
Well,
this
so,
game
yeah.
surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah,
I think it kind of did
me too.
everybody, right? Like, it's such a weird concept, but I've only heard really good things about it. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be really cool.
I was like, you guys have heard my opinions on it. But the flight to Vegas is when I was like, I'm going to sit down and actually like play this.
Sure.
Got addicted to it. Couldn't stop playing. Was in the hotel room, played for about 5 hours straight. Wow. It's like, I'm so on this, and the whole flight back. It is a great game. It is not perfect, and I feel like the more I play it, the later levels aren't as good. I feel like
What does that mean?
The fun of the challenge hits a peak, and then you just kind of plateau out, and
Okay.
it just becomes more about. There's just more. You're just doing it again and again. Where I'm going through the motions of, I know exactly what to do here. So it's not even a challenge anymore. Whereas the earlier levels, I feel like they did a really good job of ramping up, teaching you the gameplay mechanics. And in the beginning, it's very, very, very simple. And about halfway through World 1, it's like, there's a lot of shit going on. A lot of different types of character abilities and upgrades and the different weapons and the effects that they have, whether it's the push or the sticky goo shit or whatever. It's
That's its
cool.
official name, Steve. I know you haven't played. They went in different direction.
They-
Mario's
yeah.
sticky goo shit
Well,
going
'cause,
on.
like, already they were like, you know what, Rabbids, it's cool if you have Mario and the princess and everything. They're also like, we're just gonna call one of Mario's powers sticky goo
The
shit.
sticky goo
now.
shit.
It's canon.
Yeah.
It is. It
It's
is.
changed.
But immediately,
new
I was
Nintendo.
impressed with this game when I turned it on with the opening cinematic. It
Sure.
took it in such a different direction than I thought this game was going to go. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, there's some cool production value being put into this. And the game is fun.
Well, what was so surprising about the intro?
I want to.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see.
It's unexpected, and that's why you don't.
want me
Yeah.
to spoil. You don't want.
No.
You're trying to let me have that beautiful.
I want you to
experience
have that
had.
moment.
All right.
My
all right.
only issue with that part was that I have no interest in the story
Yeah.
at all, and it sucks because it's just constantly like, here's more story, and it's like I don't care.
I'm still this Roomba. I'm
really-
still
yeah.
going around. It's like,
Don't
dude,
care.
you are the worst part of this game. I
Yeah.
don't want to walk around the worlds with you. Can I just fight things?
Yep.
So the thing with the world map section, which does take up a fair amount of the game, was my biggest issue with it with all the demos that I've played. It does get better playing through it, and I feel like the puzzles in that section become interesting. However, the controls suck for that stuff. When you're controlling
Suck.
the Roomba, the inability to always move the camera.
Yeah.
Why do you guys keep saying something about a Roomba? Like,
Have you
I
not
know so
seen it?
little about this game
You're
that
chasing
I'm just
it.
like,
Here, I'll show
you're a
you.
Roomba.
I'll show you.
The
In-
character you control is this Roomba thing.
Okay, so
In the
you're just like a
overworld,
little
you have
thing
this little
that goes
circle
around.
robot
Okay.
that you drive, and then all the guys like conga line
His
behind.
name is
following
Beepo.
you. Beepo is his name.
Beepo, yeah.
Beepo.
Justine Beepo.
But it's kind of like Final Fantasy VIII, where you control one of the characters, and then there's
Bieber reference is
Yeah,
what you're
nobody
going for?
accepts
That,
this.
well,
Yes.
it took me a second. Like, Justin
that-
Beepo. And I was
it took me
like,
a long time.
it's not there. So now
okay.
move around. See what happens. You're going to do that? You're going to move the
I'm
thing?
gonna do it.
Yeah, there's some fun.
Oh, there
little,
I am.
There's
Yeah.
some
Oh,
fun
I'm like a
little
rabbit
puzzles.
Roomba. I got little rabbit ears. All right.
When you're exploring the worlds, you can do, but it is hard. Where especially like the ones that are in like the blue bonus things.
Yeah.
Because you go and you have to. You're timed on some of them, and if you're not standing in the right place, you can't move the square the right way, or it
That's the
gets really
problem.
frustrating.
The way that the controls move, because it's kind of isometric, and the way that the camera is never exactly where you want it to be, when you're pushing boxes with the Roomba, it can get confusing because like even though you're holding forward, it should just push the box forward. Your Roomba kind of like pushes against the edge, and then you end up going off the box, and it's frustrating, and it feels like clumsy design.
Yeah.
So I don't really like that. The game world is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the
Aesthetically,
look
yes.
of all the different worlds and all the different kind of what's the word you always
Oh, here comes Andy
Give it to
Cortez.
It's a seasoned game development term called a biome.
A biome. Yeah, there's a lot of different
Steve
biomes.
knows what I'm talking about.
Steve knows these
Game developers, man. These guys, yeah, biomes, yeah.
Yeah, the biomes are cool. But I do not like the character models themselves. I feel
Really?
like they're
That's
they're
weird.
a step back from.
Well, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get used to this.
Well, I mean,
there's
the-
just a
that
whole-
Rabbid Peach? Come
Yeah,
on.
there's a whole
She
thing
thick.
going on.
That's what the internet
She
says.
thinks, two C's.
Fair point.
But no,
Thanks for
I,
letting me run
I
the
feel
Roomba
like
around.
they're really dumbed down compared to what we saw in like even Mario 3D World, where those characters were very detailed and like looked awesome. Whereas this kind of it looks like a generation behind whenever I'm seeing them in the cutscenes and stuff. So I don't fuck with that.
Another little issue I have with the game is I feel like whenever you find a crate or something opens up and you get a prize, I at no point have been like, oh fuck yeah, yeah.
Agree, 100% agree. Yeah.
What do you get? What's
I
in
mean,
there?
there are different things. Like there a whole bunch of shit for like the museum where there's just like, you
okay.
can see
Go to your
pretty
gallery
sculpture,
and
yeah.
watch this. I'm like, I don't fucking
No,
care.
I don't care. So I did
Yeah.
this.
I'm here to beat piranha plants to death. Let's
You
go.
want to see a picture of an invincible star?
It's 3D. Spin it.
But the gameplay it's fantastic, and I think that this
Fantastic.
game is gonna teach a lot of people about a genre of game that they've never experienced before, and that is awesome. I feel like that's something that Nintendo's really good at, is taking something that is a tried and true game genre and introducing Nintendo qualities. And I feel like the fact that this is a Ubisoft game is very impressive.
Yeah.
It is unlike any Ubisoft game I've ever played, and I think they really were up to the challenge of being like, this is a Nintendo game. People are going to look at this as a first-party Nintendo game, even though it's not. And it feels like one.
Yeah.
And that is the utmost compliment.
Yeah, I think the thing that it reminds me the most of conceptually is like back in the Super Nintendo era when there was like Super Mario RPG. You know, they were like, hey, Final Fantasy team, make a Mario game, and it was totally different mechanics than you'd ever seen with Mario before, but it had that sort of same thing if it could bring that core experience to an audience that maybe has only played Mario as a platform game.
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly.
It seems really cool because I love tactics games like this, like turn-based games like XCOM and stuff. It's cool
great.
to have another one of those because there's so few of them. Really, I think that they get the full kind of like treatment.
Well, what's fascinating, of course, is that the XCOM expansion / standalone thing came out the exact same day.
Yeah.
So my question, I know you're a big baby, you never will, but you, as you're getting your feet wet here, do you see yourself beating that and then wanting to go play the XCOM one? Fight some aliens, be a Marine?
I'm not sure. I'd definitely be down to try it, but I don't know what I'm liking so much, whether it's the gameplay, because there's definitely frustrating moments where it's like, so I don't know if that'll transfer over or I've gotten hooked on it. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
What is the XCOM? What is that on?
Right now, just PC, I believe, right? Or did they put it?
see,
Andy,
that's
I'm
not
looking at
good.
you.
That's
Yeah, it's
not
not.
good
I don't think
right
they made
there.
it to console yet, but it'll be there eventually.
Yeah.
The XComs will make it over.
That's
Well,
all
the main XCOM 2 has come out on console, hasn't it? Or has not even the main game yet?
XCOM
expansion,
2
not
is
yet?
out.
Okay.
Yeah. But this new one. No, but I'm with you in the gameplay of this one. What I found interesting about playing Mario plus Rabbids on the plane ride to Vegas, Tim, was the fact that I'd play and when I'd get, I'm still stuck at the mid boss. The piranha plant one, or the first time it really gets challenging.
Yeah.
And it was that thing of like, when I haven't played it since the plane ride's back or whatever, but I'd get hit, and then it was like, all right, cool. And it was like, for some reason, I wasn't motivated to jump right back in. I was kind of annoyed that I had lost that, so I put it down, and then I'd come back, and I lost again, I put it down. And it's just that, whereas like with, I know we're going to talk about everybody's golf or whatever, like when I fuck up a course, I'm like, oh, fuck, I want to play it again. I want to get right back in there and try to learn from my mistakes. Whereas this, for some reason, I don't know what it is. It could just be me. It could just be how I was feeling when I was playing it on the plane. I wasn't stoked to jump right back in and play the same thing again.
I really, really enjoy this game, but it reminds me of how much I love Fire Emblem. And I feel like in the last couple of years, Nintendo's had maybe a little too much Fire Emblem, but I'm very excited for next year when there's a proper entry on the Switch. Like, I'm definitely that is going to be time for me to go back to that. But I think if you like this, you're going to love Fire Emblem.
It's exciting,
And the thing that I like most about it is, in comparison to this, is it's always clear where you're going. Like, the grid system is a lot more just 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, there's a lot of times where I'm like, I'm not clear if I'm in the line of sight of an enemy. And the biggest problem is I know that it has like the percentages and it'll tell you like 50%, 100%. That icon isn't always
visible.
Yeah. And that
You
seems
try
like
to
a
move the
big
screen,
issue.
the camera around, and it's like, no, it won't move. And it's like, well, all right,
Like,
cool.
well, I guess I'm just
I
going to
hope
take
it's 100,
the chance. Yeah.
I'm 1,000% wrong. It is on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Okay.
That was sticking in my craw. I had to check it out. According to Kotaku, at least.
Nice work. Nice getting that
I
out of
might
your
have
craw.
it then.
You don't have it.
No?
XCOM War of the Chosen, you didn't get that. I mean, it just came out Tuesday.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah.
Nope, I was wrong.
All right. Well, thank you, Kevin.
No problem.
You are dismissed.
Fairly well. I said fairly well.
Now, what else have you been playing, Greg?
Where do you want me to start?
It's up to you.
Jen!
Oh my god.
I need you to come here, babe. We're bringing in the left-handed pitcher.
The left-handed pitcher.
They call it the lefty. No, it's fine. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, hey, I'm great.
Good. This morning,
Good show.
Genevieve St. Onge and I played Life is Strange Before the Storm,
This morning.
episode 1.
It's so good.
I don't know. You know, a lot of people want to talk shit about Greg Miller and his
About
dedication
mornings?
to the Gamescast.
Yeah.
Because I came home last night, had my Life is Strange code, and I said I should play this for the Gamescast. Instead, I'm going to play 5 hours of Everybody's Golf, and I did. However, then I set an alarm at 12:05 in the morning to wake up at 6:30 in the morning to go play Life is Strange Before the Storm, so I could talk about it on the show. Thank you.
And she was with you. for
Of
this
course,
adventure.
of course. Yeah.
Okay.
So I watched him play through his first run, which was great.
Yeah.
I was so annoyed because he gives me motion sickness when he plays video games because he's always fucking spinning around.
I'm not there. I'm
nonstop.
not there doing the E3 presentation.
No.
I'm there to find the hidden things. I want the trophies. I want to talk to every person. I want to get around it.
I make demos for a living. I'm like, no, I'm trying to enjoy this game.
Well, Greg is a gamer.
It's
right, yeah.
maybe if I hit this fucking wall 5 times in a row, I'm gonna get a trophy.
Yeah. Because, you know, Steve, trophies are important.
Oh, that close
I don't know.
my eyes.
It's, you know, a lot of
That's
people, I don't
great.
know if that, don't understand. It's important that trophies are in games, and sometimes games have partnerships.
You'll never hear the end of this.
One day you'll set it right.
honestly.
One day you'll set it right. No, so top level, Life is Strange Before the Storm, episode 1. Joey and I had gone to a preview event for a few weeks ago. Played it. My initial impressions leaving was, is more Life is Strange. Okay, cool. It's one of those games when we started playing, it was like, oh fuck, I missed this. I forgot that I missed this.
Yeah.
It's been gone. I haven't thought about it. But then it was also the fact of jumping into that demo. We immediately meet Chloe, who's got a different voice actress, and it was like, okay, she's close to Ashley. This is pretty good. And then when we met Joyce and David, who are her mother and stepfather, who we know so well from the last game. Did you play? Did you play Life is Strange?
Yeah.
Okay, and you did.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously. You worked at Square at the time. I'm sure they made you.
Unrelated though.
Yeah, of course, I know. I'm just putting it out there. Full disclosure.
I feel like Jen was giving me a look like you didn't actually believe that I played it. I played that entire first season.
Sure you did.
I did. I'm not lying.
Which eye am I blinking from?
All right. But it was that, like, Joyce and David in the demo were like very, ooh, like, that's not, I know David's supposed to be, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't who it was supposed to sound like because he is so distinct.
They had different voice actors for all of those characters?
I assume it's the same story as
Because of
Ashley
the-
because of the
yeah,
strike.
the strike
Everybody
and
had the
everything,
strike against Square.
Because David is the kind of like ex-military,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
the diner.
Joyce is, yeah. And I think, and it's,
I like those characters a lot. Though.
Joyce, I believe, is Sissy, the woman from Firewatch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Anyways, though,
yeah.
my hope was that when I played the real game, that would fade away. It did. I jumped in there and immediately, like, you get into it and everybody's going
Yeah.
and it's fine. It's great. So then, as I'm playing through it, I'm playing through the sections of the demo we had already played. So that's always disappointing, right? When you have to play a part, something you've already seen, you already know how this part's going to go. But as I'm playing, I was like, all right, this is good. This is cool. It's more Life is Strange. Like, the big twist of the episode or the big cliffhanger part, not even cliffhanger, the middle section that spurs our characters on their way, Rachel Amber and Chloe. I telegraphed what was about to happen, and then it was that thing where it's like, oh, I can't interact with this because that's going to be very important in a second. Then it was like, I immediately put together what's happening, whereas like Chloe hadn't. So it was like that weird thing of like, let me get to the dialogue that explains whatever, blah, blah. And I was all right, this is still fun, this is still good, it's Life is Strange. And then there's this right turn moment where it was just, and I turned left, but right turn moment. I was talking to
I
you
was
guys.
thinking it, I wasn't going to say it.
Thank you. Audio listeners have no idea what's happening. Where it was like, oh my God, like what a powerful scene. And Jen started crying.
Wow.
And I was like, holy shit. And then it goes on and I was like, this is another example, and we're blessed to be able to say this so many times this year. This had no business being this good. It was it exceeded my expectations. Now, granted, I think my expectations were lower than the fact that oof, we're coming back to Life is Strange. We're telling Chloe's story, and I know a lot of people didn't like Chloe, but I did. But I don't know if I like her enough. There's no superpowers, and there's these different things. What?
Was not a fan of Chloe. Because in the
From
the
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 first
original
season?
game, yeah. But then this one episode just gives you such a different perspective on her journey, and it's like, all right,
You really
I
felt
understand.
like you changed your feeling on her
well,
from this
because
episode?
she's a bitch in the entire first series, and you're like, why are you like this? What is your problem? Like your
Who
dad
hurt
died.
you?
That's really sad. Sorry,
Yeah.
spoilers for the first
Oh,
game.
come on now, kids. We can't hold your hands if you didn't play the original Life is. Andy, come on. What do you want me to do here?
But yeah, so in this one, it's like, all right, yeah, no, I get it. I get why you're acting this way.
And that was the funny thing of a tightrope line of walking it, is playing through it. And there was a point where I chose to be mean to Mom, and I turned to Jen. I'm like, I'm role playing, because it's like I love these characters, and also we know how their story ends, you know, and we know who these people really are, at least in times of crisis. So to come back now and have to be like, I'm 16 and I hate everything, you know what I mean? Like I need to be a dick. I feel like in this
Did they
moment.
throw like a weird little southern accent on her?
Arcadia Bay in Arkansas. Turns out we didn't know that. We all thought it was up north. No,
No, just like new
So
information.
this game
Twists.
is a 3-episode game?
Correct. Plus then the fourth farewell thing that got all the hullabaloo about the trophies.
But this
there's
is just episode 1 you're talking about.
We're talking about episode 1.
You were upset about trophies?
I was, believe it or not. Someone else.
Who would think?
It's funny because here's what happened. Another talented developer, Deck 9, almost fucked up a platinum trophy. But they listened to the sage-like wisdom of Greg Miller, and that didn't happen anymore. We got around it. It was all fine. What's Kevin's big box? What's happening?
No, I don't know. It's just box.
Oh, for me?
Did I do that?
No.
Okay.
Should I open it?
You want me to open it?
Yeah, you open it. You tell me if it's good. But no, yeah, there was this whole thing with trophies, and they fixed it though because they listened to their audience. It was really spectacular. You know what I mean?
They sound like great.
It's
game
great to
developers.
see developers like listen to the audience and really care.
Yeah.
Jen, you played it again though. When I went to work, you kept playing. You played it again
Yeah.
on your own. What did you find this time?
I was really interested in figuring out, because you mentioned the graffiti, right? And I kind of wanted,
Right.
I wanted to be Cool Greg for a day, so I'm like, I'm gonna chase.
Cool, Greg. There's graffiti in this game, and like that's because in the first game, you know,
Like tagging, like
Yeah.
teens, like tagging.
Because the first
Exactly,
game
exactly.
you're taking photographs.
Oh.
No.
is it bombing, Cool Greg? Oh, they call it bombing? All right. No, in the first game, you took photos as collectibles, right? And you did that. But here in this one,
Right,
you walk
just
around
felt
and
good about
tag things and stuff. But I didn't find any of those
That
the original way
is
around.
an edgy
You went
thing
and did
for
it
a
also.
teen to do.
Yeah.
So-
Whoa.
No. Okay. What you can't be excited. Only Kev can be excited.
Oh, okay.
So how does the graffiti work in this one?
It's essentially the same system as the photographs, except it's on surfaces that are more often than not hidden from plain sight.
Okay.
How does it
So-
compare to Mark Echo's Getting Up on the
I was
PlayStation?
literally
3?
just thinking about Mark Echo's Content Under Pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
And I was wondering the same thing.
Wonderful game. It was.
Okay, so for full disclosure, I was a certification tester on that for
Holy
PlayStation 2.
shit.
So I spent a lot of time
Too
with
much
that game
time
in a
with that
different
game.
way than you did. Do you get to choose what you tag on each surface,
Oh,
or
no
is
way.
it Chloe's
You are
idea?
given an option,
There you
actually.
go. There you go.
It's pretty sick. Pretty
All right,
sick.
Can you just do the same
Hella
thing
sick.
all
Yeah,
the
hella
time?
sick.
So
They also explain the provenance
Wow. Are you like French? Or, like French Canadian or something?
of the use of the word hella. Because in the first game, everybody's like, "Ooh, you're not from California. Why do you keep selling hella?"
and they said, you know what? We'll retcon it in. We'll tell
Yeah.
you. We'll tell you
The
why she
nano
says hella.
machines?
And we'll make metachlorians. No, they went back and they did that. And that's the thing of like, what's so special about just this one episode is giving glimpses of that, seeing Chloe still just being a grieving daughter and then evolving into this, and then seeing it interact with people and not just be a bitch like she was in the other one, because you know you're playing as Max in the first game. This isn't spoilers, I don't think. And it's not story spoilers for sure.
Okay.
No, the D&D stuff.
Oh my god!
They
Can we
have
talk about it.
such an amazing scene where you walk. There's this girl. You get to school. There's this girl you're gonna get a DVD from.
She's a GM,
You go over there, and what does GM mean?
game master.
Oh,
Have you never played?
I thought it was a DM, a dungeon master.
It's either.
Did it? Okay, I don't know.
It can be either.
Okay.
Okay.
She calls herself a GM, and I thought they were trying
I've
to.
heard both terms.
I thought they were avoiding getting like copyright
It's
stuff
possible that Dungeon Master
Yeah.
is
because they never.
term. I
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly. Anyways, you go over there and she's doing a game with this one kid or whatever, and they ask if you want to join. You can totally blow them off and tell them to fuck it. And it was that thing of like, you don't. If you want to, you join in.
Well, but as far as like role playing as Chloe goes, there's no way she would be like, I'll play some D&D.
that's
But
why
see,
it
that's the
makes it
thing is
so
like,
good.
I think this Chloe would.
Okay.
This Chloe, isn't blue hair yet. This Chloe is still like figuring out punk and stuff like that. She's only wearing one studded bracelet.
She hasn't been to the
Jesus.
Warped Tour yet?
No. She would never go to the Warped Tour. The
She's
first
a
thing
real
is she
deal.
goes to a fucking rundown barn to see somebody play. All right, Tim. Steve Gaynor,
That's
help me
just
out
the
here.
Warped Tour isn't in town.
Is the Warped Tour punk?
Chloe would go to it.
Is the Warped Tour punk?
It was. I wouldn't say so explicitly.
Thank you. That's all it is. That's it.
leading question.
Anyways, this D&D game.
I definitely just think about Blink 182 when I think about the Warped Tour. So whatever.
Sure, of course. Then we all know how punk they are.
Yeah, exactly.
The
It's whatever
D&D
that
game
is.
you
It's right
join in
there.
on and you get to play, they give you a character and you go and you make choices. And did you go? There's there's a boss, there's prisoners, and then there's like an
You
encampment.
play like a full-on like D&D like
Yes,
encounter
and if
through the
you-
dialogue system.
So I watched for the first time with them, right?
Yeah.
And we had this playthrough. Sorry.
You cheat. You keep covering your face with your hair. You look like Cousin It. I'm trying to help you out here.
Goodbye, everybody. No, so the first time I saw it, I was with you, and like
Yeah.
you made the worst decisions possible, which were influenced
No.
by me.
Well, yeah, because we were trying to get. I had 2
Yeah.
hours to play before I had to come to work, so I was like on critical path here. Like, I was like, it was. I should have told them no, I'm not going to play D&D, but it was so tempting I had to.
Right.
So good that I played it twice because I wanted to see what the prison and the training grounds were.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So, good.
Don't ruin. I'm gonna go
Like,
back and play.
literally, the thing that you're talking, like the D&D campaign, is the thing that makes me be like, all right, this goes on my list. Like just now, I was like, I will do that actually.
Just because of like Chloe playing D&D
Yeah.
is like me playing D&D.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on and I don't give a shit. So I'm just going to punch people in the dick. And that's what she does. And it's so good.
That
It's
sounds
so
really.
good.
That sounds really fun. I mean, because like for me, I'm sort of like, I played through the whole first season. No, but I played the first season. And like for me, I'm not sort of like, oh, I need to know about what happened before this. You know,
Sure.
Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
prequel
yeah.
thing for this isn't just a natural like thing that I'm like I have to. But hearing about being able to do those kinds of things within that world sounds like really fun and like that would be cool to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
see-
they've sorry. Can I talk? I know this is your show, but all right. I've played this game more now than you have. Kind of like everybody's golf.
You even played more Everybody's Golf than me.
I did.
Speaking of everybody's golf, how you like it?
No, hold on, real quick.
No,
Put it in cap.
but hold on. So you get to go, but before we get to everybody's golf, we have to rewind to a Mark Echo's Getting Up Conference
Yeah,
Under Pressure
okay,
story.
good.
So, but
I also have more things to say about Life is Strange, everybody.
So basically, Greg, just like we're having a podcast here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly. Discussion. Stop hosting.
What else do you
let
have to
us
say
do it.
about Life is Strange?
So many things.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful in a
It's
touching
really-
way. It's beautiful in a
like graphically. Like
Yeah,
environment.
exactly.
I always thought the
They
environments were
switched
gorgeous.
to Unity.
and- Really? Well, what were they on before?
Unreal.
They switched from Unreal to Unity.
Yeah.
It's uncommon.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, did they switch or is it because Deck Nine's a different studio?
I don't know.
I
don't know
was
that-
wondering if
like,
maybe
I
that's
don't know
just the
those
tools
guys,
that
yeah.
that team
'Cause
knew or
if-
whatever. But
Because it's just literally the first thing you see when you open the game.
Is it
It's
made
like
with Unity logo?
Unity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which is great. Good
I
for
mean,
them. But
it's
it's
just,
beautiful.
exactly. I just want to drive home. The story's beautiful. I think the graphics are great. As usual, the soundtrack's awesome. Like I'm not saying I wasn't looking forward to this game or I thought it was not going to be as good as the first, but the first did set such a high bar that to come in and tell a prequel that honestly I wasn't asking for. Whereas like, Chloe and Rachel Amber, I think I've pieced together what they were and why they were important to each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
But now to play through that and have these
Yeah.
connections and do all these different things, it's really fun.
And also, they balance out the fact, like the lack of superpower
Yeah.
by backtalk, which is
Oh, right,
an
I didn't even mention
amazing
it.
feature.
So they have this, so since there's no rewind or anything, you have
Yeah.
to give you something more than
'Cause
just
she
dialogue
hasn't
choices.
Gotten, powers.
Well,
yet
yeah,
or anything. Yeah,
Max had it too. Don't forget. Don't.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It wasn't an idea.
Sure.
In the world before.
So, and Tim, you'll like this too. This is actually something, even though you're bored with me and you walked away from me and you hate me.
I just needed water. I'm so
It's just
hot.
so hot
It's
in
like
here.
70-something degrees in San Francisco, and I can't
Not
handle
normal.
it.
It's hilarious.
So the
that you guys think
backtalk
it's hot
system
in
they put in
It's
here,
not.
we're dying. It's
actually
too hot.
very
in
nice.
here. It's way too hot. in
It's
here.
breezy in here.
So the
fine,
backtalk
fragile.
system they have is this when the dialogue choices pop up, You have them, and then you have one that has like blue lightning bolts around it, and you click on that, and then basically, as you know who Chloe is. She says, "Take no shit. I'm gonna get in your face." Blah blah. It's an insult system basically,
Right.
Where you start with in the center is like the point where when you get here, you can finally get like the knockout of talking. But then on the other side is your opponent and you, and then you each have circles that you have to fill in to go.
So some battle rap shit.
Exactly, and so you have to listen to what the person says, and then all
Spot
these
keywords.
Yeah, exactly. So like if they're talking about like, well, there's weight to the situation, you're gonna look for like a fat joke or something to that effect to play into the perfect insult
battle. I like
to
this.
fill this in. Well, it's not even puns as much as just
Angry.
Just
active
just being
listening and
It's
jumping
wit,
off.
Yeah, and you
yeah,
gotta be witty. And what's
I love
interesting
this.
is that when you pick a word, because the choices you get are not full-on sentences. It's like a hint of what you're gonna say. Sometimes it's completely different from what you would expect, and you're like, "Ooh, shit!" Like she went really hard.
That's awesome.
It's great.
The game's
yeah.
awesome.
Could you play it without playing the first one?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Should you?
You probably would feel less attachment, or to the
now,
story.
if somebody hasn't played any Life is Strange now, they have the really interesting opportunity to play the prequel stuff first. And then
That would
play
be
it,
the
like,
thing
in
about it, where I'd be
chronological order.
interested
That'd
in.
be weird.
I would be interested in doing it because playing through this one, I am like, all right, and I hated David, but I'm like, oh, but he came around in the end. But I'm like, why did he come? What was he? I can't remember
Right.
that. It would be really cool to see it chronologically.
Yeah. So when you are tagging, when you're bombing,
perks up.
so you get to choose like per location what design you
Yeah.
use, or
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
either or.
yeah.
Yeah, you only
Okay.
get two options, but they're tied to what you're tagging on
Right.
or what the context around you is.
So in Mark Echo's Getting Up, Contents Under Pressure, released I think in like 2004, 2005.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It's a game about parkour and tagging and fighting. And
Train.
So
the
like
main
an
character.
unknown
That's true,
version
yeah.
of Jet Set Radio.
it
good.
was
Infamous Second Son.
It was definitely influenced by Jet Set Radio, I think, just as far as all the graffiti stuff goes, and like all the parkour was very kind of Assassin's Creed-ish,
Yeah,
that's- or I guess
pre-Assassin's
it was
Creed world.
So I guess it's more like
Prince
Prince
of
of Persia,
Persia.
Sands of Time, right? Anyway, but as you go, you get to choose which tags you put up in different locations, but you're building up a palette of them by like when you beat bosses, you get to use their tags. So, you go up and you're like here, and then you choose from your kind of selection. So like a few levels into the game, there's a boss whose theme is that he's a basketball guy, and he's like, you go into like his personal like basketball court and
Lair.
Den.
his basketball lair, as basketball players call them. And you
Andy
battle,
says that checks out.
yeah, you battle him, you defeat him, and you get his tags. And one of his tags is simply the word balls,
Yeah, nailed it.
and then the two L's. When you graffiti it, it looks like balls.
Why not? Get it
And
up.
because
Mark Echo.
because it's a discourse.
Yeah.
And so being a tester, the only reason
You need
because
to
because I
flag
was
it,
doing
right?
my job.
ESRB, Jesus.
No. They had the rating. They're good. But I had to see, what happens if you really push this game to
you
its
go
limit. So
balls out.
every time, after I got that, every time I had the opportunity to put graffiti anywhere, it was just balls.
Hell yeah.
Everywhere. To the point where I was like, I was playing the game and testing the game, playing the game, and I was like, all right, balls. It's on the side of a bridge or something. And there was another tester behind me, and I just hear him go, what's wrong with you, dude?
You're just
like,
testing the features,
sorry,
man.
testing.
Yeah.
Was being a tester great or terrible?
It was good.
Okay.
I didn't do it for like a super long time. I was a cert tester for only 6 months because you're like a temp. I also got fired. And then I was an internal tester for like another year after that.
See you later.
So I was a tester like on a project in development after that.
Gotcha.
But, being a cert tester was really cool. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it forever, but
Yeah.
as like a first experience in the industry, it's sort of like, here you go. You have to play this game that you never would have touched for like a week and like really understand it. And that having to do that like over and over gives you a lot of perspective, like design perspective. I'm just like, oh, here's why this game works and this one doesn't. Here's this thing I never would have played, but
Yeah.
like I kind of get what it's about,
Yeah.
and I never would have that exposure otherwise.
So shout out to testers.
Yeah.
Because they're honestly, from my perspective, the best people I ever worked with. Because they know the game through and through.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that get past them.
Yeah.
So like when you need to have a super specific answer, you go to them.
them.
Yeah.
They're the best.
yeah.
My favorite thing is before we started doing this show, like before we went live today, Cool Greg's eye. So when we're going to talk about Mark Echo's Getting Up, and I love that we spent at least 10 minutes talking about Mark Echo's
There you
Getting
go.
Up. It's
There you
fan-fucking-
go.
He was a tester on the game, Greg.
Here I am. Right here. Really? Awesome.
He'll sign it for you on the way out.
I will sign it, Mark Echo.
I met Mark Echo once with Greg
Yeah?
Miller at
Yeah.
Comic-Con, and he was promoting some weird mobile game with the dude from
Dexter.
And everyone was hella excited to hang out with Dexter. I was hella excited to hang out with Mark Echo, be like, when's Getting Up 2 coming, bro?
Yeah.
We gotta make it happen. It didn't happen, though.
No, it didn't. We didn't make that happen.
Okay, so everybody, are we done with Life is Strange?
There's one last thing I feel
Go
is
for it.
worthy to mention is the collector mode, because holy shit, if you want the trophies, mwah, mwah,
What does that mean?
mwah,
It means it's
so
delicious.
good.
It's great.
No, I mean,
So
what
good.
Again, trophies are really important to us.
Collector mode allows you to get back into any scene, because the trophies in
okay.
Life is Strange, as you remember, are tied to either the photographs
You remember
or
the trophies, right? You got them all? You get the platinum? Yeah.
or in this case, the
I played it on
graffitis.
PC. I'm a PC gamer, Greg.
Oh, look at this cool Steam card I got for it. Oh, it's a rare one.
It's a foil card, Greg. You can turn them into badges. What were you saying?
Jesus. So yeah, you can go back, select any chapter you want, and then it's like the best fucking thing ever, because you got the chapter selection screen at the bottom. They indicate how many trophies are in each scene. So like it's 0 out of 1. You got one thing to tag in there, and then
Okay.
you get it, and then you can skip all the dialogue. It's so magical. I remember
You've
you.
ruined her,
Oh
Greg.
no.
You
No,
ruined
no.
her. You broke
No,
her.
I've
made her
been
better.
scarred. I've been scarred by Hellblade, trying
Yeah.
to go and get those 44 fucking pictographs, whatever they were, with no chapter selection. So I played through the whole game like 2 times because I missed one. And then if you miss one and you go elsewhere, they switch order, so you can't follow a guide online.
Oh.
So the tags being able, and they did this thing where no matter what you say, it won't affect like your progression. So it's like you can be a total bitch and hit square throughout the whole dialogue tree, and it doesn't matter. So it's like,
They
skip,
know what they're
skip,
doing
skip.
over there.
Yeah, it's
You know what
so
I mean?
good. So
Life
good.
is Strange has never fucked up their trophies. It's great.
Good Lord. Well, Jen, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem. Should I leave now? What's happening?
Yeah. Right?
I would want her input on the next game as well.
just-
Oh,
Straight
on
up.
everybody's golf?
Yeah, she's
Oh.
played a lot of everybody's
Oh,
golf
okay.
as
I'm
well.
better than
We were gonna
anybody
get
in this
Andy for
room.
that.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. Andy Cortez
Do you
is
have
in the
a
room.
hole in one?
Andy Cortez and I
Do
do
you
not
have
have
the
holes in
hole-in-one?
one. Andy, come over. You're gonna get. It's everybody's golf time. It's
I
time
thought
for the
that
real
was
shit
ice
to
cold.
start.
That was
It's
a
time
bit-
for the real. There it is. Look at there it is. Oh, you got all that one. Andy got all that one.
Stay or not?
No, yeah, totally say.
you
Yeah,
guys
just-
can-
Andy doesn't have a chair.
well, I mean, I don't think you're gonna stay for that long. I don't know. We can kick Tim out if you want.
Well, yeah.
Tim,
I'm
Tim, get the
leaving. I'm
fuck
done.
out of here.
Get outta here.
Get out of here, you hack.
Everybody's golf.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, I
So
haven't
here we
played any
go.
Everybody's golf.
You saw me play it earlier, so you're
That's-
already further
okay.
ahead than
I
Tim.
mean, it's not like he's seen you play it. obviously.
Here's what I'll tell
When
you,
would he
Steve
have?
Gaynor,
Yeah.
about everybody's golf.
Yes.
After the first 15, 20 minutes of playing it when I got it,
Yeah.
I put it down and went to get a cup of water. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. This is not a Greg joke. I literally almost teared up and cried. Because they nailed it. I've loved this franchise for so long. And I've seen it on
Wait,
PS3
This was while
in
you
Vita.
were away getting the water? You were
Yeah,
like getting the water and you were
I
like...
was
got up
leaning
and
against the fridge.
I got up from the game and
Yeah.
finally it all kind of settled
There
in.
was there's this crazy overarching story, and a dad dies, and it's like really, really
You have to
isn't.
play the golf to avenge him. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. No, but like this game nails what I want from everybody's golf / Hot Shots golf. Like to get here after what I feel like is a Vita version that was not up to snuff and a PS3 version that was not up to stuff. To get here and have it on PlayStation 4 deliver, be able to create a character that looks just fucking like me, to be able to get in there and play with Andy and do these different things, the daily challenges,
character
the
you
coins.
made.
It's
Yeah.
eerie.
Yeah, what about it?
really
you don't think it looks?
eerie.
You don't think it looks like me?
I mean, I think yours look a lot more like you.
It's
You're
a bit-
in a very bad mood.
Oh.
Yeah,
well,
no. Jen's
that's
character
what I
looks
look
mad.
like
It's just
most of the time.
Greg's head is like twice the size of my waist, and I hate it. And I want him to make his head smaller.
But I like being mascot Greg. I look like a college mascot version of Greg.
the
And I'm
worst.
fine with that. Andy, how do you like everybody's golf?
I'm in love. I'm addicted to it. I think the last Hot Shots I played was like PS2 maybe, so I don't have a huge
Wow, okay.
pass with
Yeah.
it. Because I didn't play on PS3 or on Vita or anything like
PSP,
that.
those are the best ones.
Yeah, but I was really into Tiger
also
Woods.
a tester on PSP.
Really?
Open
Really?
tee?
Golf, yeah. Wow. Pretty sure.
Jeez,
You've done everything.
Fucking all-star here.
That's what I'm here for. I mean, just mention games. I tested it. Pong, tested that.
First
yeah.
Ultima?
Sure. Yeah, I was right there. Ultima Online too. Whatever.
Yeah, but I got really into Tiger Woods when I was like in like leaving high school, going into college, and I bought like every one for every year. It was crazy, like doing the my face scans and all.
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh,
I'd take a
wow.
photo, like, and it was like uncanny how real that shit looked.
He's so real.
Yeah. It's a good callback to party mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Initially I was like, okay, I unlocked this golf cart. This is kind of stupid. What am I going to drive around this little
But
small
you get an achievement for it.
home base for? Yeah, you do. Get a trophy for it.
Did
Thank you. Thank
oh.
you.
But then
Oh, wait, a Chivo?
Achievement.
Stop it.
getting them Chivos.
Just gobbling up Chivums.
Yeah.
I come from the PC world too. Okay.
You're all horrible people.
But then you sort of introduced me to the open course mode,
Yeah,
which is
open
something
course.
that when we were playing before it came out, it was nothing that I like. I'll probably never play online. Whatever.
yeah.
But open course is really cool. And you just sort of have this like free roam mode where you can run around to different holes.
Yeah, so the idea with open course, if you haven't started playing, and the idea with hot shots in general, is you have your home area where you enter into tournaments there that then give you leveling up XP to increase your golf rank, and then your level is
Yeah.
different too. So that's
What's the
all.
difference between those?
It's weird.
It's really weird.
The level, the golf rank is the overarching. I think there's 6 according to the trophies. If I could be incorrect on that, and that going up, showing how much you've played and how much you've
And
unlocked, and then the levels.
Every rank you unlock a new course.
Yeah, that's how. So it must be 6 or 7, right? And so then the leveling, I think, is just to keep that carrot at the stick of like, oh, see, you're still increasing your overall level, even though you're not, because your rank takes a while to increase. It's otherwise.
I gotcha.
So that's great. But then you can go play private matches, which we did with the kids on Twitch and stuff, and you can do no XP or anything gained there, which sucks. But then you can go into open course, and when you go into open course, you just walk out into a golf course, and there's other golfers on there, online, real people running around doing their thing, and you go and you play these holes, and you can choose to either do 9 holes at once, or you can just go one by one. And the holes all have a daily bonus on them of coins. So if you can get below par, you earn currency that way. If one course will have a super bonus on it, where if you play the 9 holes, you get even more for it. There's collectibles hidden around it, and so it's encouraging you to go out there and do it. But that's where you use a golf cart and really drive around between the holes how you want to play and do that. On open course, it doesn't affect your overall like, all right, cool, here's my level or my rank or anything, but what I love about this God, it's so weird. Everybody's
Saying
golf.
hot shots.
Hey, it's years and years, all right? Is the fact that you level up your clubs as well the more you play them.
Did it just used to be hot
It was
shots
always
and they just
everybody's
changed
golf
it?
in America. I'm sorry, always everybody's golf in Japan, and then it was
okay.
hot shots here.
And then they
this
just
time there was like
combined it.
Some
they
brand
just- they
manager
just-
fuck
said,
it.
"We
Okay.
gotta make this more American."
Yeah, exactly.
See, I
Nobody
did it again.
understands. Americans hate being with everybody, but they love hot shots. You know,
That's what it was.
it probably was. Yeah.
They
yeah.
hate togetherness. They love God.
They only like one guy to rise up. So, but you go through, and whether you're playing in your home base or you're playing in the online open course mode, you're you're leveling up your clubs as you go too. So
Okay.
when you hit a good drive, your power goes up, and so then you can over time drive further, and then you get
Add
more
some
control.
of that backspin.
That backspin's a big part of it.
So key.
Yeah, that
So
back
key.
door.
Yeah.
That back door for
Level
putting.
up your back door.
Yeah.
There's
I'm sorry. What?
there's an NPC who like you walk up to. He's like, "Do you know about the back door?" Excuse me, sir. Is there a glory hole somewhere? in this level that I have not seen?
No, for him, backdoor is it's one of your putter stats, or I guess it's any of your
Yeah.
clubs, but mainly your putter. That it'll help the ball if it's like going around the rim and like circling to actually drop it.
When you go around the rim gently,
yeah, rim jobs are going
finally you do a few turns and you finally get in there.
right in there,
Right in
squish,
there, dude.
squish.
Oh yeah.
Real
moist.
Now, Jean-Pierre Saint
Where'd
Ange,
that one come from?
knocking boots.
All right.
What?
How many golf games had you played before this?
Real life or?
No, video game golf. How much video game golf?
I want to hear the answer to the other one.
So back when I was working at Frema Studio, we had these yearly summer kind of golfing tournaments.
One
things.
quick second. How many Freeman games did you test?
What is that?
Okay, it was a publisher.
Young Thor, Zombie Tycoon.
They made a lot of PSP stuff. You wouldn't know.
Okay.
PSP minis were the shit.
I
right?
agree. Trust me, I made.
Shout out Martin Brewer.
We're just shouting people out now. So wait, I'll say now, how many golf video games had you played?
0.
Okay, so when I came home and was obsessed with everybody's golf, what
I
did
was
you think?
very confused.
Yeah.
You remember my face asking you, how do you play this?
Wait, but you said you played IRL golf.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Does
Believe
that
it or
apply?
not,
It's
not
real different.
really not.
It turns out it's a lot different. No, it's a lot
it's
harder.
like-
The stance.
It's a lot more expensive.
No.
Yeah, a lot more expensive, a
And
lot more difficult.
also, it seemingly does not make sense the way you're supposed to hit the ball in everybody's golf. But once you nail it, totally makes sense.
It all starts making sense. at
Oh,
the
yeah,
end, you know what I
totally.
mean? Yeah.
The
So-
IRL translates directly to digital.
So at what were you expecting to play and enjoy this? Because there was that night where I came home and you're like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to play everybody's golf. You're like, okay. And I'm like, are you okay? And you're like, yeah. And then 5 hours later, I was like, do you want to watch something instead? You're like, yes. Please stop playing this golf
I
game.
mean, yeah.
But now you love it.
I love it now. It's just,
You were playing it while we were starting to
yeah,
record this.
no, it's great. It's just for somebody who's never played a golf game. I feel the step is like very unattractive, not high,
totally.
just unattractive.
It feels like there is a lot. Just like looking
Yeah.
at it with you, there's just like a lot of
Yeah.
interface, a lot of different things in the
Yeah.
game. It seems like it has a high complexity level,
It's-
at least when you first encounter
It's
it.
like fishing games,
I
right?
think golf
Yeah.
is unattractive to most people anyway, and
Yeah.
that's like so to.
Not to everybody.
Well, not,
Nice.
Woo, get it now. $49.99 or how much is it? $39.99.
40. Yeah, 40
That's
bucks.
40. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've for somebody who has never played a golf game and now you're into it, that's kind of mind blowing.
That's
I mean,
a
that-
statement.
That was my thing too, where I mean, like,
It's for everybody.
It wasn't everybody's golf, but Mario Golf on GameCube was the first time I ever played a golf game. And I was like, holy shit, this is fucking great! Like, this is so much more fun than real golf's ever looked, and it's because it's easier to jump into, and it is fun, and it is. I think even though it looks crazy when you look at the screen, once you start playing, you understand
Yeah.
enough of it.
Yeah.
Especially
Real
when they-
golf course, fire doesn't come out of the ball. It's bullshit.
Yeah, you can't get that super
Tornado
backspin.
cups?
Yeah,
Why
no
not?
tornado cups, no mega cups, no
You wanna
teeny
know
cups.
what a good ass golf video game is?
Sure.
There's a full on stand up putt golf arcade game that I've seen at like bars and arcades in Portland where they build full like. There's the haunted golf course, and there's the like Sasquatch themed golf course. And you go up and you stand there, and it's like Golden Tee basically, where you kind of like do the trackball.
Oh,
yeah.
But then it has all of these crazy obstacles,
cool.
and like bats fly out when you put the
Nice.
ball into the castle and stuff like that.
Classic bats.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, what putt course are you gonna go to where they just keep bats in the castle? I mean, come on,
That's a lot. That's a
Only
pain.
video
A lot of bats shoved in that castle. You're gonna come out
Video
every
games
time.
are
you use
art.
it. Yeah.
This proves
This
it.
proves it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Downsides.
That's my recommendation when it comes to golf video games.
For
Find
everybody's
that
golf,
putt game.
we've sat here and we've kissed it a lot. We've made love to it.
Sure.
But the things we don't like about it, Andy, long load times.
Long
Oh
load
my
times.
God. Why?
I'm only getting to a part now where I believe there's some semblance of like villains.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
it's really cool.
Have
What,
you gotten
rank
to
four?
the bunny suit? I keep seeing the bunny
No.
suit online.
Are you
I don't
rank
know.
4?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, me
rank
too.
4. Yeah.
and that's the first time we're ever there.
So
with
it's
Papa.
like that's where it's exciting me because again, I've said this like 5 times already, but it reminds me of Game Boy Color, the Mario Golf on there, where it's like a total like anime story of like
Wow, really?
this new kid's in school and I'm gonna I hear he's gonna try to challenge us, like no way he could beat me. Like it's total. I love that shit. Like I eat that cheesy
it starts
shit
being
up.
about dramatic golf rivals.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right.
Totally. Yeah.
I like what I'm hearing.
My other problem, of course, is that it doesn't make any sense to me that private matches can't allow you to get XP. Like it's golf, right? And I was thinking about it. I guess technically, if you and I wanted to play, you could tank yours by hitting it off, right? And so I could get the points. But even then, it's
But,
still gonna
like,
come down to strokes. Like
Can we not like it? In private matches, are you at least able to level up your clubs?
no.
See, that's something I
You
would
are
at least
nothing.
like.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's the thing of like, and online tournaments are supposed to be coming. I think that's what that middle purple area is. Somebody was saying online, but it's great. It's fantastic. If you're at all interested, you should try it.
It's surprisingly good.
Okay, good.
Check it out, everybody.
Yeah, the music is pretty great.
Music.
You
Oh, the
were
music's great.
shredding to it.
The music fucking kicks dick, dude. It's awesome.
When I got on that tropical course, rank 4 last night, and it was like the tropical, I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, all right, here we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, all right, shake it up. Let's go
Yeah.
south of the
I just
border.
wanted to, like I'm just picturing that like Sting is like a featured artist on it. Like I would just love to hear him just jam out a fucking bass line on that.
Yeah.
Fucking like dun 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 dun. It's so dope, dude.
It's great. Everybody's
dope.
golf is great.
Also, Shuhei Yoshida greets you
yeah.
in the home place
You
when
can
you start
unlock him.
playing. Yeah.
I think I beat him early on, and then I haven't seen him in my
No, you
area
don't beat
since.
him.
He's
What?
just hanging out.
Well,
in
he's a
your-
gallery member.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you
in the
earn
tournament.
gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're getting in the weeds.
Yeah, we're
Tim. Thank you, Jean-Vive Saint
Oh,
Thomas.
you're not kicking Andy out. You're kicking me out.
Well, no, Andy's getting up and leaving on his own accord. I know how you are, though.
I miss you
stay
so
here.
much.
We're in love.
Yeah, didn't know. They're married.
Adorable. It's just
You're back, Andy.
Oh, hello.
Oh!
fucking tricked you, dog. Damn. Woo!
Just real quick, you've been playing Destiny 2 beta on PC.
Yeah.
Oh.
What are your
I played
thoughts,
here at
bro?
work, using up my working on the clock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Creating
this-
content for this podcast.
Yeah,
It's part of your
exactly.
job. Come on.
Exactly. I only played through the intro stuff, the intro part, which is the same thing that they showed us at E3. I mean, it's fucking awesome, and it runs so great, and it's beautiful, and running on an awesome PC is just so cool, dude. And I'm running at like 83,000 frames per second, probably.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
high. That seems
it's a
high.
lot of frames per second, dude.
Yeah.
How many of those frames can you see?
Dude, the human eye, man. It's crazy. Human body. But I have not been able to do any of the strikes yet. I mean, there's only one strike. It's the same strike that was available on console. And it's these other same 2 modes. I do want to know if you can get us access to the social. Because initially on console, there are 3 things you can do. You can do like a regular, like fucking casual match. You can do a super competitive match, or you can do a strike, which is your PvE mode. Later on, when console was doing beta, they added a 4th mode, which is just the social sort of like come hang out with other with other players, and this is
Guardians.
like with other Guardians, but it's like the tower. It's
Yeah.
like that, but it's the new version of it.
Okay.
And you can only do that if you've pre-ordered the game.
Ooh.
But I saw people at IGN playing it, and if they can play it, we should be able
we
to
should
play
play
it
it.
too.
Yeah, sure. Well, next week, or actually, if this goes up on Monday, this week, we're streaming this game.
We are.
Twitch.tv kind of funny
We are.
games.
We're gonna save the universe, dude.
All you got, all
about
the important adults are gone, so we're just gonna play games every afternoon here. It's gonna
No
be
adult
fun.
supervision.
Yeah, exactly.
But
gaming all
it
the
looks
time.
great, and if I had an awesome PC to play with, I'd probably play on PC. And if I had, the only thing holding me back is I don't have all my friends on there. So,
It's a big one.
but yeah, that's Destiny 2.
All right, Destiny 2.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Andy.
Can't
That's
wait.
a wrap on Andy.
Can't wait till next week.
So, Steve,
Hello.
49 minutes into this episode.
Hey,
what have
I'm-
you been playing?
I'm just here to game, everybody.
I thought you've been playing Mark Echo's Getting Up.
I mean,
You've been testing it
I
again.
have been in my heart
Yeah.
for the last 12 years.
Why haven't you streamed that, Cool Greg? Cool Greg,
I'll do it for you.
why haven't you streamed it? Getting up.
Getting Up, boy.
I'm gonna platinum hit and run.
Oh, he's platinum and hit and run.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do hit and run and then
Nobody can hear him. He's Frogger's Quest.
Get over here. Get over.
You just sit here. This is mic off? No, he's gonna turn it back on. Hold on. Cool Greg's turning it back on. This is the guest episode.
I love it.
I love it.
yeah. I mean, just like keep it flowing, keep it moving.
Yeah, let's keep it tight. You know,
yeah,
it's
just
like hour 15. Don't you
So
love
that's
it?
why they call him Cool Greg.
Oh yeah, he's cool.
What's up, guys?
yeah.
So what's your plan for streaming games?
So when I got hired at Kind of Funny, I noticed this guy loves platinum, like all of
do.
them,
I
right?
do. I do
So then
love
I was like,
platinums.
all right, what game do I love that I haven't beaten yet? It was Hit and Run. I always got real close. Like the first 3 levels I platinumed.
To be
100
clear, you're talking about Simpsons Hit and Run on PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't have a platinum. You're just gonna
Doesn't
do
even have
everything.
It doesn't have trophies
Yeah,
at all.
yeah,
but-
100 it.
But
or
you can
whatever we
100%
call
it.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, 100% it. And then
I know that feeling.
Yeah, I decided, it's the time. And then you guys, perfect place to live stream video games. I was like, all right, fucking, I'm gonna do it. And then Great Quest, I just need to find. I don't have it anymore, which
Okay.
sucks.
So, okay, a couple things for you to know, Steve, and then a couple things for the audience to know.
Okay.
When my brother's talking about streaming games, he's not talking about Twitch. He takes
Because
this.
to be clear, we run a streaming Twitch operation from here for about 2.5 hours a day.
Yeah. So what we do, or he does, is he will take his phone and Instagram live video, but just the feed. Not even a feed. There's
Yeah,
no feed.
just point
Just
it
the
at the
footage of
screen.
him playing on PlayStation
Why don't
2.
you want to actually stream it?
I mean, I just don't have that level of talent. I feel that
Oh no!
people should watch me playing. I don't know.
I don't think that's true.
And then people got to talk. You got to play, and you have to have the conversations. Like these guys, Andy, they're good at it. And just oh, so what are you going now? Oh, now you're gonna go for the bridge. See, if you didn't go for the bridge, to put you back later. But me, I'm just over here like, fuck, I want a beer. I'm just playing.
That's good stream.
But then the
That is-
other
that
thing
is
that,
true. Yeah.
that everyone needs to know is that one of my brother's favorite video games of all time, I shit you not, is Frogger's Great Adventure on the
Yeah.
PlayStation 2, which is a 3D platformer based on Frogger. And he's just obsessed with it. He
One
got
of
it
the
at
better
Goodwill.
Froggers, right?
Oh, it's one of the better frogs.
Is it? One of the
I
better?
think. I don't know. It looks different than the rest of them. He's like,
He
don't
wears
know.
clothes in this one.
Yeah,
Anyway,
he
thank,
wears
thank you,
clothes.
Cool Greg. You guys stay tuned to Cool Greg's Kinda Cool Greg on Instagram for all of your getting up needs.
So Frogger wears clothes?
Frogger wears clothes in this game, yeah.
Oh, Jesus God.
Genevieve is back.
What's
She
up,
doesn't
Jones?
answer
What,
yet.
what,
She's
what, what
telling.
did you play?
You can hang out if you want.
I like Steve so much.
Steve's a good
Steve's
dude.
great. No,
so,
Steve's
Steve, what have
I'm
you
happy
been
to be
playing?
here. As we may have mentioned, I shipped a game very recently, so I haven't been playing that much. I'm catching up. So I have two things. One, I started playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Oh, God.
And that's like the only thing
you're
that I
addicted
played
now.
for like 3 months. Because when you're shipping a game, really stressful. You got a lot on your mind. You're working a lot of the day. You still want to do something instead of just working from when you wake up till when you fall asleep. But it's really attractive to just be like, let's do another Battleground. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And the thing is, like you were saying about
Everybody's
when you were
golf.
almost.
Okay.
But instead, it was the Mario and Rabbids thing where you were like, you lost to a boss and you were
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm demoralized kind of. I feel like it has the opposite effect when you're playing Battlegrounds and you die and you're either like, that was hilarious, that's fine, I want to play that again, or you're like, fuck, I'm going to do it again.
Exactly.
Like, you know?
I know what I did wrong. We're Battlegrounds
Well,
fans.
and no, you don't know what you did wrong. What you did wrong was play Battlegrounds. Like you're gonna.
For me, it's
die.
usually that I was
You're-
standing up, running around like a jackass. I should have
Right.
just hid in the
Well,
building.
or like you saw some guys and you're driving a Jeep and you're like, I'm gonna go get them, and then they just shotgun you out of the driver's seat.
Yeah,
Like, It is your fault usually, but you know, it's that kind of thing that's just a very easy, very attractive. Like either something funny will happen, or we'll almost win, or we'll die really quick, and then we can just play it again. So I did a lot of that, and I just started playing Zelda. I just got a Switch.
Oh, okay.
Like I just bought a Switch like a week ago, and I've played maybe like 5 hours of Zelda, and it seems cool, but I'm still like getting off of the tutorial plateau.
the plateau.
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
interesting. There's a lot of people I seem that because Switches are becoming a little bit more common in stores now. So there's like a second wave
Yeah.
of people playing Zelda. That just excites
Well, that was
me.
the crazy thing though, because like you know, I had just opted out of even trying to buy a Switch for a long time because I'm like, I don't have time for it. There's a bunch of other stuff that I want to play and I haven't done that yet. But then I got around to it, I'm like, everybody loves the Zelda. I want to play the Zelda.
Sure.
So it was just on a random like Saturday. I was like, can you just like, because I just wasn't even paying attention. So I was like, can you just buy a Switch now? Like maybe like shouldn't you be able to? And I went on Amazon. I was like, no. I went on Best Buy. I was like, no. And then I went on GameStop.com. And like their giant like header image was like Switch in stock. And I was like, oh, okay. So I clicked, and in Portland there was like 10 stores that had all said they had it in stock. So I was like, oh, okay.
You
well,
lucked the fuck out.
well, but the
thing
Locking it at that moment.
Right. Well, but I was like, okay, so I guess it's like every store in Portland has it. Cool. I can just maybe I'll do this later. So I just like messed around for the morning and then came back and refreshed. I was like, maybe I'll go get that Switch now. And it was like 3 stores. I was like, oh, it's like
fuck.
that. So I called one of them. They didn't even have it. They searched the local inventory. The only store that had any in stock was like a 40-minute drive away. So I was like, getting in the car.
That made you
I'm
want
there.
it even
I'm
more.
going.
You had to do it.
And so I got out there, and yeah, I bought one of the like 2 Switches they had in stock or something. It's crazy that you still can't just buy a Switch.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I got lucky. And yeah, the Zelda is cool as hell so far. I like it a lot.
Zelda's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And
I
I,
still
and I
need to
want to get
play
that gosh darn Rabbids now. You guys talking
got
about
it,
that
man.
sweet Rabbids?
Get Mario Kart next. That's what you need next.
Really?
Yeah.
Did
Come
they make a Switch specific Mario Kart?
It's
It's-
a port of
it's
the
the
Wii U one,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you want to hold off a little bit longer to see how it pans out, because we talk a lot about everybody's golf. Golf Story comes out next month, September.
Is it like a story about golf?
a
It's
fun
an
little
RPG.
indie
It's a golf RPG.
Nice. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, exactly.
What is a golf RPG?
We're all going to find out together. It looks 8-bit.
Have you played Mario Golf on the Game Boy Color?
No.
Oh, well, that's what it is. It's like Pokemon, but with golf.
I want to play the new Mario game that's going to come out where you throw
Mario
your
Odyssey?
ball and
Odyssey, yeah.
Let's
You
go.
possess them.
inhabit their bodies.
October 26th.
Turn
Yeah.
weird.
We close. It's happening.
We
Yeah.
close.
Is there anything else you played, Jen, that you want to talk about?
What?
I don't know. I'm not with you. I don't know what you do during the day.
Oh, I tell you whenever I play games.
Sure.
Yeah. Whenever I do anything.
She's just been obsessed with what we've been playing.
All right,
Well,
now
all
it's
right.
time.
I'm a
this
very
week,
like focused
Just
person.
insight into this relationship.
This week in gaming history. All right.
Oh yeah.
2 years ago, on September 1st, 2015, Metal Gear Solid 5. The fan of it. 2 years.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
It honestly feels longer than that to me.
Really?
Really?
I mean, I played like 60 hours of that game or something, so I
Yeah.
like got deep into it. It's just I shipped a game since then. There's been a lot of shit.
There's
that's
been a
gone
lot
on.
that's
I've been
happened.
like, that was
Yeah,
2
yeah, yeah.
years ago. Oh my god.
I get, yay.
And it came out on PS3, PS4, 360, Xbox One, PC, and that's something that I forget about. That
too.
game came out cross-gen and was good.
Yeah,
on
I forgot
both.
that it was on like PS3 and 360.
Yeah,
That's
it's on
wild.
both, man. Crazy.
Yeah.
Utterly
And-
crazy.
Yeah, it feels like it's been longer. That has been
I
than
played
2
it on
years.
my
even.
Xbox One game.
Whoa, look at you! Wow.
For me,
and that's when you're like,
it
I'm
feels
gonna
like
make a game for this.
That's the
If
only.
you think it was
that's the
last
only
year, it feels
Metal
It
like
Gear
feels like
last
last
on
year,
Xbox.
yeah. Metal Gear Solid 5 is so fresh in my mind. The gameplay of that game is going to go down in history as one of the greatest loops of
Oh, sure.
satisfaction that you'll
Yeah,
ever
yeah, yeah.
have.
Yeah,
The
like-
story will not.
Like going like.
We need more
like taking over
resources.
a-
I need fuel resources. Get out there.
I did really like being able to visit all your animals on the base.
Oh sure.
That was
yeah,
good.
yeah.
But
For-
also, yeah.
For
just-
some reason, the game did not hook me.
Oh, yeah?
But again, like very.
How far did you get into it?
Ugh,
I think it
not
takes a
far.
little while because once you get into that core loop of like you like surveil a base and then you infiltrate your way
Yeah.
in from any angle and like take it over, it is really cool and
Yeah.
satisfying.
At the same time, I'm not like historically. I haven't played any other Metal Gear games.
yeah.
And
But it's very
I get
different from
spooked
most
really
other-
easily. I hate being
Okay.
chased.
Okay.
I hate being like targeted by something.
Oh, yeah.
And so
the beginning of MGS5 is spooky.
I would just end up being like curled up against a wall and waiting for people to stop being alarmed, and then whoever I like knocked out would come back up alive, and I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
You know what I
It
want?
is pretty stressful. If
I
they
want
notice
PUBG
you.
with MGS5 gameplay.
Okay.
That's all I want.
I don't know what
You're not
that
gonna get
means.
that. You're
I know I'm
gonna
not gonna
that.
get it.
Don't
What does
worry
that
about
mean?
that.
Oh, you're telling me the Metal Gear Survive's not going to be that? I want the controls of it. Like with,
Oh, okay.
I want to be able to like go down.
The
and
run,
I
the
have it
running,
feel-
the
yeah.
dive right into prone,
Because
the
PUBG, there's so many
360
times
shooting.
when I'm playing it, I'm like, this feels good, but I wish it was Metal Gear Solid.
I want
5
to run
specifically.
around on a small little walker mech
Yeah, why
in
not?
PUBG. I'd take that.
Well, you just want Metal Gear Survive, which is coming for you. Come on, man.
It's coming for me.
coming.
It's
Oh
got me in
yeah,
its
oh yeah.
sights.
That's
10
got
years
you for
ago,
sure.
on August 27, 2007, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption came out on Wii, the last good Metroid game
Oh, wow.
to come out. 10 years ago as well, on August 27, 2007, Warhawk came out on PS3.
Fuck yes,
What do you got, what do you got for me
Warhawk,
there, Greg?
dude. Warhawk. Do you remember
Guys,
Warhawk?
I mean, I remember Warhawk. I
don't-
don't think I played Warhawk.
Warhawk for me was, when I started at
The
IGN.
flight simulator.
No. It was
It's like
the
a jet fighter game, like a
kind of. It was both. What it was the first. Hey, the PlayStation 3 has multiplayer, and here's an exclusive that's all about multiplayer, and it's awesome. And it was that I started at IGN, and I start in 2007, and it's just a few months after the launch of PlayStation 3 in November.
Yeah, it was
And-
basically. It wasn't exactly a launch title, but it was
Exactly,
Like one of the
but when
big
I got
titles
there,
when it came
this is when they were doing betas for it or whatever, and so we were all in it. And we would jump in and play that, and like we would shut down the PlayStation team, me and Roper and Jeff Haynes and Dunham, and eventually Clements to play this and run out there, and it was totally grasping at straws, and the fact of just like, oh man, like PlayStation doesn't have anything like this. They've never had anything like this. This is fun to get in there. There was a strategy to it where I was really great on the ground, but I was terrible at actually getting into the Warhawk, so I never did. Whereas Jeff was great at being in Warhawk, so he'd be up there and I'd be down there running tanks or trying to capture flags or do whatever. But it was just like an awesome, hey, downtrodden PlayStation 3 fans / people who have to cover PlayStation 3. Here is this thing that's awesome that Xbox doesn't have. It's like, this is what it's going to be. Dylan Joba.
14 years ago, on August 27, 2003, Soul Calibur 2
Holy shit.
came out on GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox. And now, for those of you that don't remember, this game was a big deal because Soul Calibur, arcade game, Dreamcast game, 10 out of 10s all over the land.
All over the land.
But a lot of people missed out on it because
Even in Canada.
I'm his hype man. I'm his hype man. All over the land. I'm backing him up.
Oh.
a lot of people missed out on it because not too many people had the Dreamcast. So the sequel coming to all the main consoles was such a big deal, and it was an even bigger deal because each one had a console specific character.
It had Link on
so
the
Link on
GameCube
GameCube, Spawn on Xbox, which was really weird, and then Heihachi from Tekken.
I wonder
on
how they thought
PlayStation.
that out. Like, did they have execs from all the studios being like, yeah, I want Link, or yeah, who the fuck wants Spawn?
Well, I'm pretty
Nobody
sure
wants
Link was
Spawn.
gonna
Well,
be on
Link
the
was a
Nintendo
slam
console.
dunk.
No, yeah.
When you got over there and they're like, I got Spawn for Xbox.
Spawn's still cool. He had chains all over him.
But Spawn was
Spawn's
so
cool.
random.
I mean, I don't know if he is. It's fine. Either way, it's fine. what was it? The next one where they started putting our Star Wars characters in it?
Yeah,
Darth
Yoda
Vader?
and Darth
That was
Vader.
3. Okay.
Yeah. But man, Soul Calibur 2, I wasted so many hours of my life in that game. And I say wasted. I was not good at it. So I was just button mashing for the sake of it. There was a story mode, I think it was called Conquest mode in that game. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, Link, my boy.
I've got more like slight overlap / I'm old news, which is my main connection to Soul Calibur 2 is I worked at Circuit City.
Did you test for them too?
No, it was too early. But I worked at Circuit City in the electronics department, so I was running the demo stations that had Soul Calibur
Nice.
2 on them. So
Oh my
I spent a
God.
lot of time looking at Soul Calibur
Yeah.
2.
You're like that really high level NPC that's like in the video games industry
I like that no matter
You're
what.
just there.
Yeah.
throughout the
He's
history of
he's
video
that
games.
NPC that just keeps showing up.
Yeah.
Every sequel. It's that NPC who's been there since the first
Why
one.
is he always doing
Maybe you're immortal.
I mean, this was only like 16 years ago. It wasn't that long ago.
15 years ago,
I was 12, 16 years ago.
on
well,
August 27th,
Congratulations.
2003,
13.
2002, SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs came out on PlayStation.
and changed
2.
the game.
It did, man.
Yeah.
The vocal support, voice support.
Sure.
Well, yeah, that was one
with
of the
network
first
adapter.
online games.
That was the one when you
Yeah.
you went out and you bought that adapter for your PlayStation 2, so you could actually play with other people. Me and Poe did it together. We went home.
Adapter, or was that an Ethernet
It was
adapter?
that was dial-up.
Good God.
Back then.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, it was just a network adapter. And I remember buying that to be able to play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater online.
Oh, okay.
THPS 4, I believe, was the first one to
You know the
have
game I
proper
wanted to
online,
play?
but 3 allowed you to.
The game I wanted to play that was on that was Resident Evil Survivor. Is that what it was called?
Wait,
do you
no,
guys
not
remember this game?
Survivor.
No.
It wasn't Survivor. It was Umbrella Corporation, right?
No,
Resident
that's
Evil,
the more
Umbrella.
recent one. Umbrella Corporate. Anyway, whatever. The one I'm talking about is a PS2 game where it was really interesting, at least theoretically. I don't know if it worked really great, but the idea was it was a Resident Evil game where each player played as just like a totally normal person in the city who had got trapped when the zombies came out, and you could play it online. But it was kind of like Dark Souls where you couldn't do like any chat or anything. You could just like motion and like leave symbols for people and stuff. But it'd be like, oh, I spawned in and I'm like the baker and I just met the
Here's some
cab
bread.
driver. And you each have like things that you can do that the other characters can't, and you're just trying to survive in the city. And it seemed really interesting, but I didn't have the network adapter and I never played it. But
wow.
I would like
See,
to.
we went
I
the
would go back
opposite.
and watch videos of it.
Poe and
That's
I
what
went.
would
We
do.
went and bought the SOCOM and the network adapter. We came home and plugged in and played it for like 2 hours. And we're just like, "Oof, this is not for us. This is
Yeah.
not a game for us at all." And that's the thing where it's like there's still such a hardcore group of SOCOM fans
Yeah.
out there, and I respect them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're doing.
Outbreak.
Outbreak. Okay.
They're all over it, and
Okay.
they laud these games and want Sony to make more. And
there hasn't been a SOCOM game recently, right?
well, that one from Zipper that closed down Zipper, that was the last one.
Was that on PS3?
Yeah, that was the right. That was the final one was on
sounds right.
PlayStation
Yeah,
3.
it
seems like it's been
yeah,
on
it was the
Steam.
PlayStation 3 and it had some move support. Yeah, it was SOCOM 4. It actually had a cool story, and the problem was that it launched during the blackout when the PlayStation network was down for like a month or whatever, or it launched and then 2 days later the network went down forever.
So the thing about SOCOM for me that I remember about it is there was the online was one of the first big network adapter pushers, but it was also, if I remember correctly, the first game to use the mic and the headset.
yeah.
And even if you weren't playing online, you would talk to the game. So it was like, "Hey, you Pikachu" on the N64, but it was SOCOM. So you'd be able to. I forgot
Bravo
the name of
team, breach
name
the
of
door.
But yeah, you would say things like that, and like that was fucking awesome. Like because that was such a novelty for console gaming back then. And I remember playing at Kevin's house like, I guess 15 years ago.
Yeah.
God.
I remember
It's crazy.
being in high school, and they had a similar thing with the Ghost Recon game that was on the original Xbox. It was like, okay, we've got network, and you can do voice, but you could do voice commands in the single player game to like direct your squad. And I was over, and my friend's little brother was just like a total stoner, just like always, and he was just playing Ghost Recon on the Xbox. I was just watching, and like his squad was, and he just goes, just like move or some shit. And then the guys are just like moving. And they and I was like,
It
nice work. There's the thing, they knew a large part of their target audience was going to be totally blazed when they played the
Yeah.
game. So they designed
like,
for it.
whatever.
They had
man.
very forgiving commands.
15 years ago, on August 28th, 2002, Onimusha 2: Samurai's Destiny came out on PlayStation 2. And now Colin's not here anymore to
argue,
talk his bullshit, and argue whatever. Obviously, Onimusha 3 is superior to 2, and we all know that.
That was the one with the giant
Gene
enemy
Reno
crab.
was in it. No,
Giant enemy crabs? Wasn't that Onimusha?
that was an
3?
Onimusha.
Oh, no.
I know what you're talking about
Yeah.
from the PlayStation reveal.
E3
where it
2006.
goes, Yeah.
But it was not.
Historic battles.
Yeah. Was it called Genji?
That sounds right.
It's a different game.
It wasn't Onimusha.
So
we
Onimusha
like
did not have
Onimusha. Where is
giant enemy
Onimusha?
crabs.
It did
None
not.
of that.
It did not.
But you were fighting demons. It was like a supernatural kind of like feudal Japan
Yes,
game. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And
was
then
that a
and then-
Capcom? Was that a series
It
of
was
Capcom
Capcom.
games?
Yeah,
You're right.
One of the few franchises.
Okay,
I'm like,
good.
where's it at, bro? Bring it back, Capcom. I'm ready. That was the only major PS2 era franchise, like trilogy, that didn't get the HD treatment on last gen, which I think is really weird because it's so good, so damn good.
They're just letting it sit so that when they bring back Onimusha, everybody will lose their mind.
I'm gonna lose my. That's my next crash. That's
your next crash?
That is.
Save the Oni.
I can actually totally see them doing that, like at a Sony press conference, being like, "And now Onimusha's back." Like,
Yes.
I would.
Oh, I'd be so stoked. 17 years ago, on August 30th, 2000.
What the fuck? No. How long ago? Spider-Man. He's pulled out the Spider-Man on
waiting for that
PlayStation
one.
1.
17 years ago.
Oh,
17 years
Spider-Man
ago.
came out on the
So
PlayStation
I'm
1.
looking at this jewel case
What a
for
great
CD.
game.
Tagline is, "You don't just play it, you live it."
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you just play it.
You know, real talk though, this game is so special. Recently, I popped back in to try to play it, and it does not hold up. It is utter trash. There's so much fog, but there's a gameplay reason for the fog, just like Superman 64.
Of course.
It's like, all right, cool.
What's the gameplay reason?
Well, not gameplay, story reason.
Yeah.
Where Dr. Octopus let like poison gas into the city. So
That's something Doc Ock would do. That's
it is,
canon.
it is.
That's canon.
The final boss
hold
of
on,
this
Steve's got
game-
some more stuff.
I mean, he spins a web, swings across the sky, and lands with a somersault onto the Daily Bugle building. Who is this masked hero? It's you.
there's a twist.
You do live it.
Do
and
you remember the final boss of this game, Greg?
no, I remember playing this game and loving this game. I don't remember OPM in August 2000 saying the best superhero game ever, but at the
weren't that
time,
many of
It
them. Yeah.
was. It was. The final boss was
I mean, I disagree
Doc
because
Ock.
X-Men Arcade, but
Doc Ock with Carnage combined.
Ooh.
Wait, how did they combine?
Carnage
Carnage
Ock.
took over his body
Yeah.
by
And it was
being
amazing.
Like a weird
that was so
blood
good.
creature.
But this game, even playing it recently, although the gameplay doesn't hold up, everything else about it is fantastic. The presentation, Stan Lee doing the voiceovers.
Yeah.
So every level that he introduces, and every level has its own comic book cover that like is designed just for the game. That's
cool.
Oh man, there's so much love put into this
They
shit.
had they had cool costumes too, right?
Yeah, so many. I think it was like 50.
50 different Spider-Mans? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Spider-Man.
How much can you change this fucking suit?
You'd be surprised,
lot.
Jen. You'd be
lot.
surprised.
It's basically just body paint. You can put
And,
whatever you want on there.
This is a big episode for me in terms of this week in gaming history.
I mean, you do get to
because
pick what you...
well, I mean, that's true, but like some weeks I'm like, I don't give a fuck about any of this shit. Oh, there's a lot that I care about here because so 17 years ago on August 30th, 2000, Spider-Man came out, but a year before that, also by Neversoft, the world was changed
Oh God.
By...
on August 31st, 1990 with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1.
Oh.
18 years ago.
Wow.
That's insane.
The game that changed my life, made me who I am today. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, pretending I'm a Superman. It's what I do. 18 years ago, on the same day, August 31st, 1999, Dino Crisis came out on
Oh,
PlayStation.
there you go.
Another franchise that Capcom used to fix.
That's ripe
Bring
for
back.
comebacks.
Yeah.
I kind of want to play... I don't think I ever played Dino Crisis when it came out, but it was by the creator of Resident Evil.
Yeah.
It's about dinosaurs. Is the first one like on a ship?
I think that's the
That's like a
Third
third
one
No,
on
third one's on a
Xbox.
space
I think it's
station.
just
yeah,
Crisis.
Oh shit.
So
okay,
the second
yeah,
one
yeah.
might be on a ship. Anyway, yeah, Dino Crisis was like a weird game.
It was a weird game. And was
A
it
weird
good?
series.
Was it actually good?
I
don't think it was.
I wouldn't say. As I recall, I don't think it was actually good, but I think it was insane.
Yeah.
And pretty cool to play at the time when there
Yeah.
weren't a lot of games like that.
But I feel like it's time for a Dino Crisis game.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there'd be an audience.
oh, you
for
could
that.
do a lot
Oh,
with
yeah.
Dino Crisis in 2018.
Yeah.
2019.
Let's make it happen, man. Let's make it
They're
happen.
making Jurassic Park
And then
park
guys-
builders. You'll be fine. You can get a Dino
Yeah.
Crisis.
I mean,
This
like,
is a really big deal.
Okay.
like
Right?
Ark
Holy
Survival
shit.
Evolved.
Yeah.
People play that shit.
Guess what came out 21 years ago on August 31st, 1996?
21 years ago?
On the PlayStation.
1996 on
1996
PlayStation
on
1.
Real big deal.
Crash. Bandicoot.
Crash motherfucking Bandicoot.
Holy
Number one.
I'm
came
that
out.
NPC,
It's
girl.
a big week for Tim
I
Gettys.
knew it. I knew it.
You're the timeless NPC.
I love
Like,
it. I love it.
Steve Gaynor's seen everything. He was there for the creation of chess.
Crash can now drink, so everybody is happy for him 21 years ago. And then finally, 28 years ago on August 29th, 1989, this is for you, Peanut, TurboGrafx 16 launched.
Wow.
What's TurboGrafx?
It's a
Exactly.
console that no one cares
Exactly.
People care about it.
Do they?
Don't you start. It was okay.
Don't you start.
Here's what it was.
TurboGrafx.
TurboGrafx. It was so like the Neo Geo was the one that they were like it's an arcade machine and a home machine. You can buy the arcade games and play them at home, and like that was a big deal. I feel like the TurboGrafx, it was the very first 16-bit console. Like they were like we're gonna be out before Super Nintendo, and so they really pushed that they had 16-bit graphics and everything. didn't necessarily have good games, but it had Bonk the Caveman.
I was gonna say I couldn't remember who was with Bonk anymore.
Yeah, no, Bonk. He was a caveman with a big head. He would bonk things with his head.
Yeah.
That's great.
This reinforces my theory that you're a timeless NPC.
The evidence is mounting.
I'm simply 10 years older than you. It's not that hard.
Timeless! I feel so shamed by this list, though, because I grew up in a console-free household, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
all of
it
these
happens.
games.
That is true. You could be pulling a lot of stuff that
Yeah.
could have been in the PC world.
Hocus
No, you
Pocus.
couldn't.
Absolutely not.
Oh, they
But
made.
I
Here's
see
where
the list.
here's
Listen
where
to these
Solitaire
haters.
debuted, and here's Minesweeper. Oh, everybody! 20 years ago today was Clippy's birthday. Get the fuck out of here, PC.
Shut up! There were so many good games. Hocus Pocus.
It's a good
Hocus
movie.
Pocus.
Hocus Pocus, you're at the first.
Hocus Pocus.
I'm going with Hocus Pocus.
All right, now it's time for topic of the show.
Topic of the
Which
show.
is you, Steve Gaynor.
Yeah.
It is Tacoma.
hell,
It is all these
Is
things.
that another disguised way to kick me out? All right, bye.
No.
Yeah, well, if you have questions for Steve
There's
Gaynor
4
at
seats,
Tacoma,
there's
you're
4
welcome to.
microphones. You should probably just hang on.
I'll think about it.
Wow. Okay. I mean, or you can leave. That's perfectly fine.
So Tacoma,
Yeah.
it's out.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Very good.
Good.
I'm glad to be here talking about it. I'm glad to be not making a video game for a little while. We worked on the game for a long time, and like we're
How
really-
long is a long time?
3 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
But I mean, certainly people worked on games for longer.
Sure.
But for our team, it was a long development cycle. But I mean, it was because we spent some time figuring out what the game was early on, and B, we were doing something that we really hadn't done before. Like the game is about these big kind of augmented reality, like 3D scenes that the characters move through, and so figuring that all out was a learning experience of just like how do you tell a story that way, and how do we build it, and like how do we make it into the game. And now it's a thing that people are playing, so it's a really good place to be at this point.
I feel like, you guys had gone home and that was such a explosion of critical response. And that was one of the very few games I can look back on and be like, it went from no one knowing about it to everyone knowing about it on every blog overnight.
Yeah.
There was a lot of pressure. There's
Yeah.
a huge standard there for making this new game. Do you feel good about it? Do you feel like that Tacoma has lived up to what it needed to?
Yeah, I mean, I think that what you point out is something that's a very different part of releasing this game. Is like with Gone Home, it's sort of like maybe people had heard of me or followed me on Twitter or something, but it was not like this game was like Gone Home was not like a big hyped title. That
There wasn't the expectation there was for Tacoma.
And like having made one game where people are just like, what is this? And having that experience on its own is a very different feeling from like every Tacoma review is like, so the Gone Home people made another game. Here's
Yeah,
two
yeah.
paragraphs about Gone Home. So anyway,
Yeah,
it's kind of weird because I knew that there's going to be a comparison, but having it be the context for basically everybody's reaction is it's very different. It's interesting.
It was important, I think, and interesting because I know leading up to it on this show, Gamescast, and then Kind of Funny Games Daily, there were so many conversations and readers writing in of like, why isn't Tacoma getting a bigger marketing push? Why am I not hearing about Tacoma right now? And it was the argument of like, well, leading up to Gone Home, you didn't hear about Gone Home either. It's the
Right.
fact that now you're aware of what Fulbright is or who they are, and that the fact that you're looking forward to this game. Whereas just like Gone Home, I think this game needs to get into the wild, get people playing it, get people talking about it. Oh my gosh, you can't believe that this happened, that happened,
Right.
go back.
Yeah, and it's been really awesome seeing people's response to it because I feel like what we wanted to do is make a game that felt like it lived within kind of what we do, aesthetically or with story, but that just didn't feel like more of the same, that it felt like you're having this story experience in a way that you haven't had before. And we've seen so many people just be like, it really surprised me. I was amazed by getting into this story in a new way and just kind of the highest compliment we can get is that people are just sort of playing and it comes very naturally, and then partway through they're like, oh, and this is like a really crazy way to tell a story, and it feels natural, but when you step back from it.
Well, that was
different.
the weird thing about playing it for me was the immersion aspect of it, of playing through it. And I forget, we started together and Jen got distracted. She had to go do something, I think, for her family coming to town. And when she came back, like 30 minutes later, she was like, or 20 minutes later, she's like, so what's going on? And I paused the game and I was like, well, and I named all the, I only know them as colored, outlines.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I've read their emails and I've done this, and I was able to, each one of their names, without ever having to sit there and go, okay, remember that this is this person. This
Right.
is this. I knew everyone's storyline, where they were, what was happening, why this was important. I was like, oh, when before I unpaused, I was like, oh, this is a good story. Like, this is a cool thing of like walking into a room and I identify everyone at the party, and now I'm just paying attention to what's happening.
Exactly. I mean, that's what we hope that. I mean, I think that's what we want to do with our games is just have people be able to have this kind of very focused, like kind of, you know, they're short games, but hopefully they're just like very dense with you learning about people and learning about these things that happened, and kind of, I don't know, that like I hope that if people are really into it, that they kind of get completely immersed in this experience while it's happening, and then you kind of walk away from it, you're like, whoa, oh, right, well, you know, like this whole thing just happened to me. I was there for something. Yeah. And then breaking back out of that world, I think if we can put the player in that space, then it really feels like you lived through it and you knew these people, which hopefully is something that's pretty special.
My question for you, and this isn't a spoiler, I swear, if anybody's listening and hasn't played Tacoma, you should go play Tacoma, period. Why the decision to tell us early on in the story that everybody was evacuated? Because for me, that was my thing. When I finished Tacoma and put it down, I was like, oh. And like, that was fun. That was cool. I enjoyed it. And that's what I said, you know, I mean, that's what I've told everybody. Yeah. But it was that thing of like, I felt like there weren't stakes, right? In Gone Home, there was always, well, there's the attic. I can't get into it. What is going on? Where is everybody? Is this place haunted? Is it not? Right. Whereas this one early on, there was something where it's like crew evacuated, and it didn't make it sound like, and maybe I read into it. I was just like, oh, everybody survived. So then playing through the game, and it was like, even when there was a few things where I was like, oh, fuck, oh no, everybody's okay. That's okay.
I mean, I think that some people had the same response to Gone Home as well, because I know that we definitely heard from people who were like, well, your sister left you a note at the beginning that said like, don't try and find out where I am. She obviously ran away. So then when the ending was like, spoilers, she ran away. Then there were some people, and I think that some of that comes down to an individual player's interpretation of like, like, do you believe it or not? And I think part of what we were hoping to instill in people was this idea of like, you start out with like, well, the company's told you this, and this is the real story. And as you play, you're like, well, that's not really what happened, and this isn't. So is the crew really okay, or are they just telling me that to give me as little information as possible?
Because there were certain ominous points.
Oh, there were plenty of ominous things.
That you're like, ooh, the AI, did it like turn against people?
Well, that was the whole way through of like Odin, and like when you're going between things, and I swear these aren't real spoilers. You're going between screens, and it was like the message would garble, and it was clearly trying to tell you something. I was like, is Odin good? Is Odin bad? Right. Where are we going with this? And blah, blah.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, this discussion is probably a little spoilery, I guess. I mean, just generally speaking.
Again, just fucking play Tacoma. How many times have I tell you?
Damn it.
It's on Windows, Mac, Linux, and Xbox One.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's one of those things that when the focus of the game is the story and like an interpretive story, I think that's part of the challenge that you run into, where you're like, well, like if you put information in front of a player and you're like, oh, but they're supposed to like be suspicious of it, you also have to think about, well, what if somebody just believes this? And then, you know, if it's like, oh, well, if you just take our word for it, and then you end up in a place that's not as surprising as we intended, it's like, how many people are going to go down which road, and how can you make it satisfying kind of regardless of what your initial, like my wife Rachel always, well, not always, but like very often, she is like really good at like seeing the first act of a movie and just being like, oh, so that guy's gonna have done the thing. And I'm never that person. I'm always like, oh no, who did it? You know?
I'm just enjoying the ride.
And then after the movie, she was like, well, yeah, when that thing happened in the first 20 minutes, it was like, well, he did the thing and she's gonna end up having been dead the whole time or whatever. And I'm like, oh, really? Well, I guess you're right, you know? And so I think that it's, you know, it's always a challenge just to like find what players and what part of the audience is going to take certain things away, and whether that still adds up to something that's satisfying.
Sure.
Yeah.
So lately in the news, there's been a lot of talk about Xbox and Xbox exclusives, and you know the lack of them.
Yeah.
Exclusives. What is it being? Exclusives. What's it like being one of the few exclusives on Xbox through the rest of the year?
What?
Well, what is it like being one of the few
just like what is it
exclusives?
like being on the like okay,
so like working with Xbox, like working with them.
How does that come about? That's always been my question. I think we might have talked about it privately, but I don't know if I've ever heard or seen the story of like, were you already working on Tacoma and they approached you, or was?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's it's one of those things where when you're an independent developer, and you're going on to console, it can be really valuable to basically have a partner that's really invested in your success. And, you know, as we all kind of know about this console generation, there's like more PlayStations out there. You know, I think that there's kind of an expectation that games will come out on that platform. And so looking at working with Microsoft, they're in that space where they're sort of like you're saying, how can we find exciting, unique titles to come out on our platform? And so they had that motivation to be like, if you guys are, you know, launching with us, we're going to give you a lot of support for putting your game out and also for promoting it. I mean, we were involved with them at E3 like 3 years in a row.
Right.
You know?
That was crazy. I remember the first year was like, wow, what a step for you guys in terms of like, you know, Gone Home, this smaller project, and Fulbright, this smaller studio, to being on an E3 stage.
Right.
And knowing the numbers in the back of that, that's significant. it's really expensive.
Right. And so, you know, it's like, on the one hand, you can say, well, we have the confidence that we're going to make a game, we're just going to put it on whatever the bigger platforms are. But the flip side is you can say, if we work with the platform that's like really trying to build a catalog, there's just all these kind of other things that are going to be about that relationship that I think can be really valuable, and we've been really grateful for all the support they've given us. And I mean, as a small studio, we definitely wanted to launch on only one console if we were launching on console at all, just because like it's hard. We don't have a lot of people. Like getting a game out on a platform is just like a lot. And so, you know, the group that approached us and was like, we want games like this on Xbox. We were like, okay, let's talk about what that means, because being out on console has its own advantages. And then, the specific version that you do kind of, I think, comes down to what the project is when you're launching. You know, like, because when PlayStation was first starting, they were very much like, every indie, come to us, you know, and now they're sort of like, every big thing, that's what we're about, you know what I mean? Which like makes total sense and is cool, but it means that, you know, what you do kind of is like, are you making those decisions in 2013 or 2015 or 2017? You know, like what is the landscape?
So talk to me then. This is a painful question, I know, and I don't know the answer. We've never talked about it. You talk about launching on one platform. Yeah. You talk about your smaller team and it's easier to focus and stuff. How quickly you put the game out, it launches, does this start button thing, tap A to go start. What does that happen? How do you hear about it, and how do you know something's wrong? I mean,
that was so that there, for people's reference, there was this bug that hit some users for Tacoma on Xbox, which was just when you pressed A to start, it just wasn't responsive. It didn't do anything, and it wasn't found in that form when we were testing, until it went out to like a critical mass of players where it's like, well, now thousands of people are trying to do this. And so dozens or hundreds of people are getting it. Because, you know, if you get something that's like 1 out of 100 times, you might miss it in test. But then, anyway, so it came out. And like, I mean, that's another thing, is that because we were a title that Microsoft was really involved with and invested in, and because we had to start investigating that bug like when the game launched, they actually threw a lot of people into helping us be like, we're going to debug the code and we're going to see where these calls are going through and what's actually causing this. And then, you know, like having to fix it and then test it and then get it through certification and get it out to people, you know, is like its own thing. That the advantages of like just being a PC game, or you can just be like, all right, we hit the update button, now people are downloading it. And obviously console holders need, you know, platform holders need to be able to say like, we have to make sure this isn't going to like delete somebody's hard drive if they download the patch. So, you know, that was really stressful, because we had people who were like, I pre-ordered the game and I press A and I can't
Well, I can only imagine. I mean, like, you've worked on something for 3 years. You're incredibly proud of it. You literally flip the switch, or Microsoft flips the switch. Right. And I have to imagine you finally sit down, you're like, here comes a quiet moment. Let's look at reviews. Let's see. I'm going to have a drink, though. And it's like, instead of any of that, it's, I can't start your fucking game. I'm like, Jesus.
And, you know, like, we really, you know, apologize for people having to deal with that. And we worked hard on finding some workarounds that people could use in the meantime, but those didn't even work for everybody. So, yeah, it was one of those very stressful things about game development and releasing a game. But luckily, it's fixed now. if you buy the game, you can press A to start.
Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking
so,
though,
yeah.
because that's part of game dev. Like we've experienced it too.
Yeah. I don't even know what it is, but I saw like news stories about Destiny 2 having a saxophone error. Like
What?
Apparently, like there was something that had like I only know about it because I saw like headlines about it or whatever, where a lot of people were like trying to log on or something, and the error code was like error code saxophone. And like
Saxophone.
You always have one dude
Yeah.
inputting stuff that's like temporary.
No one will ever see this.
Or like, no, I'll fix it later,
Yeah.
and then they forget, and then it's
There you go,
like,
saxophone.
wink.
yeah, no, I mean, but that said, we're really grateful to people who had patience, and then we got the patch out, and then they actually played it. Hooray!
Yay.
But yeah, sometimes it's just so unpredictable what's
Yeah.
actually going to happen when a game goes out into the wild. I mean, I'm sure you're more familiar with such huge games with such huge audiences.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard because you know the amount of effort that's being put in the games, and then your devs are tired. They've
Right.
been working nonstop just to get like. Whether or not they've been crunching, there's always this final stretch at the end of the production,
Yeah.
whereas everybody's just trying to fit everything through
Yeah.
the door, and then
Yeah.
the QAs are exhausted, and then it's certification time, and that's in itself is a huge nightmare.
Yeah.
And then there's always this question of, as you mentioned, there's such a huge volume of people who will play the game
Yeah.
that's not even comparable to the amount of QA you can do internally.
Right.
Or like
Yeah.
even with like larger structures such as Square, there's always something that's going to slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
And then that's going to blow in your face. And you're like, all right. But then like at the same time, it's like right now, like since then I've always expected it. I'm like, something's
Right.
going to happen. There's
Yeah.
not a single launch day that's going to go well.
Yeah.
There's always either from the marketing side where you have premium placement that does not show up or that is somehow fucked up visually.
Yeah.
Or you get this game-breaking bug, and then everybody's crying.
Right.
And then, like, it's just a nightmare. Game dev is a fucking nightmare.
There you go, kids.
Making games is hard. Releasing games, it's even harder.
Oh, yeah. That's
So-
my life.
So then for this, obviously you worked on BioShock. We've talked about that. But for BioShock, you're working in a big company. Minerva's
Right.
Den is DLC.
Pardon.
Gone Home launches, it's a groundswell grassroots movement, right? Of like,
Yeah.
oh, people are starting to pick up. It's gaining steam.
Yeah.
For Tacoma, it's all eyes on you, all eyes on Fulbright.
Yeah.
What does that review embargo night look like? Because I always wonder about that. On the other side, for us, when we're putting up a review, whether it be a YouTube video or back when I was at IGN, it's always that last minute check of is everything fine? Is it gonna post the right time? I don't want to break embargo. Blah blah.
Yeah.
For you, waiting for 12:01 or whatever the embargo
Right,
is to
yeah.
hit, what does that look like?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess you try to keep your mind off of it until the time
There's no
comes,
way.
and then you just start hitting.
Well, so are you
refresh,
looking at
right?
Twitter? Or are you looking? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, you've got your team who is also looking for stuff and like this review just went up or this one or I with these I don't think I've ever been involved in a launch, either a big or a small one, where like there wasn't some review that went up early and you have to be like, hey guys, that was the wrong
No.
time zone.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
like pull that back down
Yeah.
until the time or whatever? But sometimes that's interesting because it's like, oh, this review went up early. Oh, it's really good. That's cool. It's kind of like that pre-Christmas, like you get one present before Christmas morning.
Yeah.
And also, like, believe it or not, I feel that's happened to us too, and I think it did set the tone for some of the other reviews because
Oh,
people
yeah.
are, it's like influence, right? They
Sure,
look at the
yeah.
review and they're like, oh, they really liked it. All right, maybe that biased like their opinion at the
Right.
end of the day. So
Yeah.
it was always good. Oh, come on.
Well, I mean,
You
like, what are
journalists.
they locked for? Like, how far out? If you're not,
Like,
you keep
no.
talking. We. Yeah,
Not
and
embargo night,
oh,
like
you.
later down the.
Okay, down the line, sure, that's true.
Yeah,
that
no,
a tenor
no.
can be set that reviews post and they
Everything
are
that
generally
pops
positive,
at
generally
midnight,
negative.
01, it's all been written.
Just
like,
making sure we're on the
3
same page.
weeks
I
ago.
want to make sure we're being
Yeah.
clear over here. Yeah.
Are you trying to explain me my job?
No, I'm trying to explain to them where it's like, yeah, if somebody pops their review at 11 and somebody's
Yeah,
it's supposed to be
somebody's
midnight,
like,
it's
yeah.
like IGN's like, well, fuck, go up a point. They really like this shit.
Rewrite the damn thing. No.
Well, never knows the text doesn't matter. It's just the number.
But sometimes there are the like there's sometimes like it seems like kind of tiered embargoes where it's like some sites put their reviews up a week ahead of time.
Yeah.
Or and
Oh,
then
wow,
the
really?
rest of them go up like on launch day. Or,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
sometimes there's early access. Like especially I think especially when there's some like big companies where it's like everybody's gonna come to our office and play it
Yeah.
and write their review based on that, and like that group gets to post their reviews early or whatever. But yeah, it's a whole crazy process.
Apology wants to know, for an abrupt change of pace, do you ever feel like making an all gameplay light on story game? And do you ever play games like that?
Well, I mean, I definitely play a lot of games like that. I mean, as noted, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds has like been my thing for months. Which, if that game had a story, it might be hilarious, and I might love that. It might also be the worst idea in the world. But it kind of doesn't matter because it's like you're not. You know, it's a
100 prisoners have parachuted onto this
I
island.
know, I love it.
One man will walk free.
Like a Russian island, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's something that is attractive about it conceptually, but also when you think about it, you're like, anything that you make just is going to take a lot of work. Like even a really small thing, you know? And I think that like you can make like a game jam game or something, and that's cool. I think that for me, I'm mostly focused on like making the kind of stuff that I feel like we're uniquely good at, because I feel like there's tons of other games that are, you know, they're on totally different vectors that I can play and enjoy and not have to also be like, I love Spelunky, I'm going to make a Spelunky-like game. I'm sort of like, there's people who are awesome at that. I'll play their games.
Yeah.
I'll make my things with their little stories in them. It's all good.
Tyler Gesselman says, what's next for Fulbright? I don't mean the next game, but do you just plan on to stay the course and keep making similar games like you've been doing?
Well, I mean, I think that the thing that we need to, or that, you know, we're looking at is just like what territory is kind of surrounding what we've already done, you know, because like with Tacoma, I think it was like both a big step, but also a pretty straight line. You know, we're sort of like, well, it's not just walking around and finding audio diaries anymore, but it is first person kind of like single story, you know, linear story game. And, you know, I think that at this point we're looking at what we've done and what we could do and saying, are we going further down that road, or are we kind of going, you know, off of a little branch that speaks to things we're good at, but isn't exactly one of those, and how far off is it? But we definitely don't know, like, it's this, you know, starting tomorrow. Yeah.
I mean, does anybody know?
Listening. Am I not allowed to listen to you?
I love it.
So I mean, like right now, in terms of, and I don't know, are you guys? Is everybody taking time off? Is everybody working on something? Do you guys not pre-production on the next game or whatever? I don't know. What can you say about what's happening at the office?
I mean, we're working on more patches and stuff for Tacoma, just sort of like, you know, things that are not critical bugs, but they're like, oh, we should fix or improve that. And we might, you know, we're looking at maybe what kind of stuff we could add to the game in the longer term. Yeah, looking at what the months following that look like, because we don't want anybody to have to be like, you know, you release a game, there's stuff that people kind of need to be getting done, but also we don't just want to be like, we never got a break. Like even if people are working on patching stuff in, it's still kind of like part-time, not as intense as trying to get the thing out. So, you know, it's a lot of, it's basically post-release support and then planning in the longer term, but not being like, everybody back to it, we're starting on the next
again.
thing.
With the crack in the whip.
right back into it.
LLR Nick says, what are your general thoughts about the Switch lineup? Also, is there any chance of Tacoma coming to Switch?
I mean, so like, we don't know anything about, we don't have any announcements about other platforms or anything at this point, any other platforms at this point.
If it ever comes and you don't give it a fucking platinum, I'll know you're doing it just to fuck with me. At that point, I'll know you're doing it just to fuck with me.
Like, if that were to happen, everyone would know that Greg is absolutely correct. So I just got a Switch recently. I feel like it's like, with a lot of Nintendo platforms, it feels like the platform, I mean, kind of like we were talking about setting the tenor for reviews. Like, I feel like the perception of any Nintendo console can be set by the first game that comes out for it. And so, like, I think Nintendo is in a great place of having released Zelda as their launch game, which is, like, universally considered an amazing game. And I think that has encouraged a lot of other people to, like, actually say, like, oh, well, we should put stuff on the Switch. You know, it feels more like the Wii, like the first Wii, where everybody was just like, Wii Sports, I have to play it. And so there was a lot of titles that I think went onto it from other publishers. And, you know, Nintendo just did that cool, like, here's all the indie games that we're going to have on Switch, which I think that does kind of say, like, oh, okay. Like, people are saying this is something that has an audience that we want to bring our games to. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Mario Odyssey, and like I'm excited about the other stuff that Nintendo's doing. So yeah, for sure. And I want to play that dang Rabbids.
Yeah,
which is like, I mean, honestly, no offense to Rabbids or Ubisoft or anything, but like I never pictured myself being like,
Yep.
I can't wait to play a Rabbids.
I'm right there with
game.
you. Fuck these Rabbids, they're
Truth.
dumb. That's how I felt. Then I got the game. I'm like, I still don't like you that much, but I don't hate you as much as I did before.
That's really, put it on the box. You know? That's right. Final question comes from Bob Shiggity. How do you have time to make good games and be good looking? I can barely walk and talk.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
A lot of how you look is based on like your genes, and you don't have to spend any time on it.
Yeah?
And the other half of it is, I don't know, get a haircut, trim your beard.
Sure. Do you ever think about growing the hair long again on one side? I like that look.
Good. I mean, any day is just like, don't do anything to your hair for 6 months. And
Sure. Okay, there you go. It's done. All right, I like that. I like
Ladies
that.
and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Bob Shiggity, for that lovely
Bob
compliment.
Shiggity.
Bob Shiggity.
Bob
Bob to
Shiggity.
This has been the Kind of Funny Gamescast. This has been Steve Gaynor. You can follow him at Fulbright on
That's right.
Twitter.
At
You
Fulbright.
should do that. You should buy Tacoma, available now on Mac, PC, Linux, and Xbox One.
That's right.
Do your thing. Jen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for letting me invade.
Absolutely.
Does the rest of the team feel like, is there a chip on their shoulder that you were so conceited that you took Fulbright, the name of your studio, but it's your name on Twitter?
It's the other way around. I had a blog called Fulbright in 2005,
Sure,
6.
sure.
And then it became my Twitter handle. And then when we were naming the company, we were like, what should we name it?
And everybody's like, well, it's not going to last, so just take your fucking Twitter handle.
Whatever you want, Steve. No, I mean, we were sort of like, oh, that's like a word that's kicking around that people have heard of before, and it sounds cool. Let's throw it on there.
Okay.
And actually, like, at some point, I had kind of argued, like, maybe we should change it from that. Like, kind of between Gone Home and Tacoma. I was like, well, we could, like, change the name. Because it's just my Twitter handle, basically. And we kicked around some ideas, and then, like, other people in the studio were like, no, we like Fulbright. That's us. Like,
Okay.
and I was like, oh.
And you're like, that's me. You're part of me.
No, but I had the same thing, or I was sort of like, should this be something that's more about like everybody? But like I think the name has also kind of like taken on its own identity too. So
Sure.
But yeah, it's weird.
Tim, real quick, before you close out, because you're literally in the we're at the 3/4 here of closing out. Worth pointing out,
Yeah.
if you ladies and gentlemen don't know a lot about Steve Gaynor, we did a one-on-one back at the old studio before Tacoma, obviously, but
Yeah.
about your entire career,
Right,
Gone
yeah.
Home and everything else, and it's excellent. I think everybody should check that out.
Definitely.
Yeah, that was-
YouTube.com/kindoffunny
It was like a
games.
2-hour-long, like just full like career retrospective.
Tim, here's what I want you to do. When you do the pointing thing at the end of
Yeah.
the YouTube video, point to it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, that was a really
I'll slip you a
cool-
$5 later.
Good.
But yeah, that was a great discussion.
Sure.
People should check it out.
You're going to have to get them the link to that, though.
Cool Greg's not. He got it. Cool Greg a long time ago told me that was a slapping interview, so it's fine.
Slapping.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everybody. See ya.
Well, that was a doozy. You can click here to subscribe to Kind of Funny. You can click here to subscribe to Kind of Funny Games. And you can click right here to watch an interview with Steve Gaynor, the one Greg was talking about. You should watch it. It's really damn good.